Hello, everybody! My name is Matthew Tyler DeLeo, better known as SonicMTD, and welcome to another episode of We Need to Talk, the show that, for whatever reason, I decided, hey, you know what I should do? I should grab the most annoying person who throws me off the deep end and have them be my co-host with me. I am joined here, of course, by my good buddy, Wrath of Fire. Hello, Wrath. How you do?
Doing pretty well.
What was? Did you just say horror? What was that? I am regretting giving you server access and soundboard access. I hate my life.
That is Adam Driver yelling out more.
Oh, that's Adam Driver.
The Last Jedi.
I mean, yeah, it's an okay film. It's all right. Could be better, could be worse. But I am joined here by a wonderful guest that I had not known anything about for about a week leading up into it. And then after watching countless videos, I know a little too much about them. Let me fade in. We are joined here by PurritoVT. Hello, Purrito. How are you?
Hello, I am good. I am good. I'm nervous. I hope I have some valuable insights into my psyche for you today.
I mean, we're just going to enjoy ourselves, see where we go. This isn't sort of like a gotcha thing. This is more, hey, I'm interested in you. I got questions that I want to ask you, and if anything goes crazy, fuck it, we ball. But if you could ball in, yes. Is there any chance, because there are people that are in the chat who are familiar with your work, but there's going to be people on YouTube who don't know who you are. And is there any chance you could pitch yourself to those fine people in YouTube to describe yourself and who you are and what you do?
I can definitely do that. Good morning, every time. My name is Burrito. I'm your resident isekai otter here on Twitch. I'm a variety streamer. And I stream every Tuesday to Saturday. Yeah. That's me. That's who I am.
So I want to ask you some things, primarily because you have a very interesting backstory. From what I can gather, I wrote it down. It was, you were a stray cat who cross paths with a witch who you took a bite of her burrito and then they turned you human, and then you tried to get revenge. They forced you into another world, and then a kinder witch tried to send you back home, but then turned you into an otter.
Yes. Yeah.
Can I just casually say I also have done cocaine, but normally we have script editors.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say my life is a bad made up amalgamation of several different stories that I tried to stitch together? Because I'll have you know that is not true.
I'm letting you know I found your fan fiction account, and it makes a lot of sense.
No.
No, I just looked at that and I'm like, there is so many questions. I'm like, why did you make a backstory so needlessly convoluted? What happened? Who hurt you? Why are we here?
It was really
What is the meaning of life?
Where's my pants?
It's way simpler at first, so it was like half that backstory first. Because when I started VTubing, I don't know why, but I went like the cat girl route, which I feel like a lot of streamers go the cat girl route.
Yeah.
A lot of VTubers go the cat girl route. But like my favorite animals is otters, and they're like severely underrepresented in the VTuber sphere for some reason, even though they're fucking adorable. So at first the lore was just like the stray cat turned into a human, like cat girl sort of thing, and then I have like my whole like landlady, my mom whose house I'm living in is also part of the lore because she's like, you know, she took me in the lore as a stray cat. But then I decided I wanted to be an otter, so I didn't want to retcon the lore.
Well,
because I thought it was cute.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. It was more along the lines of I was just sitting there going like, okay, there is backstory here. There is decisions were made, and I don't know why we went down this road.
This is like Kojima levels of lore that was being dropped right now.
Well, yeah, but yeah, because I didn't want to retcon the first part of the lore because that was like the first I don't know, I want to say like 3 years maybe of my streaming career was tied to that. And I thought it was cute and funny, and there was a lot of like inside jokes in the community about it. So I decided to just I don't know, like staple the rest onto it.
If you don't mind me asking, has your character model changed significantly from the time you were a cat girl, or did you just take that and then like add just some new layers onto it? Like how did you change from going from cat girl to otter girl?
So I actually started with a Vroid, just like you.
I love how everyone knows I'm using Vroid. I'm like, God damn, okay.
It's the textures. But that's what I'm trying to say. I had like multiple iterations of my Vroid, and it like became better as it went on. Like the first one is very Vroid coded, you know, the Vroid textures, like all of the sliders are neatly within the slider limits. And then after that I started experimenting with like over sliding the sliders by just typing the input instead. I don't know. People don't know you can do that with Vroid Studio, but you can like go outside of the bounds of the sliders by just like inputting the values. And then when I rebranded as an otter, I had actually drawn my own live 2D model. So the rebrand was also kind of sort of a switch from 3D to 2D. So some design decisions that were like in the original model did stay in the redesign, such as most of the color scheme. But aside from that, the redesign is entirely different.
So the reason why I bring up the change in that, so a little while ago, we had a VTuber who went by the name of MomVT. She's basically like legitimately a mom in real life, but she's also like the mommy figure for people on her stream, because she was basically sitting there going like, you know, my mom was my first bully, so I want to be the mom for other people that I wish I got. Yeah, I know, really adorable. Legitimately sweet. But one of the things that makes her stand out as well is that she has multiple character models and will switch to those character models sometimes in the middle of the stream. So like she'll have,
wow.
Yeah, I know, that's pretty badass. But like she'll have
it is, dude. Like I could never. That's to me. I already struggle switching games in one stream. You know, like switching models is inconceivable in my world.
Apparently, she has like 30 different variations of her model.
Wow.
From what like there is like, you know, the basic mom with an apron with short hair. There's the demon mom. Then a workout mom.
That's cute though. So it's like really a role play tool.
Bikini mom, and then one of my favorite ones is, you know how in like any kind of like post-apocalyptic anime show that has the main protagonist that has a mom, they have that very specific hairstyle, which usually means they're about to die in a horrible way.
Oh no! Yes.
The ponytail, the little ponytail draped over your shoulder. She has that, and I'm like, no! Don't you dare put that one on!
I think everybody would be like Homer Simpson when he tried auditioning for a bodyguard, where it's just like you see something coming from MomVT and everyone dives in front, going no. So I dig it.
That's cute.
But so the one thing I wanted to ask, because once again, like, since you had such a change in that, like, are there ever times where you load up the old character model, or do you primarily stick with the one that you've currently got rocking and just make small variations? I already know the answer to some of this question, but I'd like to know from your perspective.
Well, I never used the cat girl model because I would have to load up well, what is it, VC face? I would have to load a VC face. I don't even think I have VC face installed on this PC. I'm gonna be honest.
So
yeah, I never do the Vroids anymore.
So you have listed both of the softwares that I use right now, currently, as we speak, both Vroid and VC Face, because I'm like, I don't know shit. And
I mean, it's VC Face is the standard, right? Like that's what everybody's using. If you're silly and if you have like trackers, you could do like what's it called, like VMC something? I don't know. You can, there's like full body apps and stuff, but VC Face is enough, right?
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, what made you want to do a live 2D model as opposed to a 3D? Because you mentioned originally doing Vroid and then drawing your own. So I was just curious as to what made you want to go to the 2D route as opposed to the 3D route.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of fell victim to like the popularity of the live 2Ds, and I was really jealous because I was like, I feel like 3D VTubing was really in its infancy, as specifically as VTubing, because VR chat streamers had already been well established by that point. But I feel like 3D VTubing, specifically with like capture software, was still in its infancy, and it was annoying to me how I felt really limited by it, and I saw how popular and like expressive 2D was, and I really wanted to do that.
To some degree, I agree with you with how live 2D is way more expressive than the 3D models. I primarily use like the 3D self. I do a YouTube series where I review video games and things like that, and I have a very small room. So I tried doing the normal standard thing where I'm like, hey, I'm going to set up a camera, I'm going to, get some decent lights, and I realized just I don't have the right gear to make it work, and I don't have the space to make it work. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this series where I put myself on camera? And then I realized, I'm like, wait, Wrath has me getting a VR headset to interview people in VR chat. Maybe I can use the stream cam. And I'm like, oh my God, I have a multicam setup that isn't limited to time or space. Holy shit.
Hell yeah.
Yes. So I've been really enjoying being a 3D VTuber, but as you mentioned as well, it is difficult getting the expressions right. It is difficult being able to, fully show everything, but at least compared to you're not on camera at all because you just don't have the setup, it is great to at least see myself on camera. So I
agree. So, I started on a laptop too. And oh my God, my tracking is like abysmal right now. I started on a laptop, which obviously like the camera angles on laptops aren't great and everything. But yeah, starting up as a streamer and like not having any of the gear and like feeling like, it needs to be like good production quality or something, which it doesn't. But I personally, as a streamer, want a certain production quality for myself. And I don't know if that's like weird or because I do think people can make great things without production quality. I mean, it's proven, right? Like Mr. Beast started by counting to 1 billion in his bedroom, and like, like Iron Mouse fucking drew her model on a piece of paper, and that's the textures they used for their first ever like VTuber model. So for sure, it's possible with lower production quality, but for me, it's something I expect of myself.
Mm-hmm. Well, so like I've told this story a couple times on the podcast, but everyone starts off with, "Hey, you don't know what you're doing. Just get some stuff out there, and you'll learn as you go." Like originally, when I was doing my YouTube show, I was doing everything off a 2009 MacBook Pro. I had no ability to get game footage. I had no idea, like a capture card or anything. So I would take image stills of the stuff that I was reviewing, and I would record my audio on the USB microphone from Rock Band, that video game from like the PlayStation 2. And
legendary.
Like everything was like so lower budget, but just trying to find ways to make it work. And then from that, as time went on, I started learning new tech. I learned new skills, and my videos are like night and day how different and how better production value I bring to the table. But first things first, you have to start. And when you start, it's going to be crap. And a lot of people bail out before it gets to that point.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how hard I cringe when I don't even, because any YouTuber can tell you they don't watch their old videos. They watch it once, post it, maybe watch it another time when it's posted just to make sure it's like not corrupted, and then you just forget about it, right? So I don't watch my old content. I don't watch my old covers that I posted, but I know for a fact that the microphone is shit, like the recording is shit, everything about it is shit. There's no post production at all. I'm not going back to those, but it is fun to think about those and know that they're shit and feel like looking at the thing that I'm going to upload. Today I'm going to upload something and it's fucking awesome, and thinking about how fucking shit my previous shit was, and it's like I grew so much. It's fun to see, and it's fun to have as sort of online or like video diary on your YouTube channel. You don't have to keep it public. You can private it, but just like having it is awesome. I love having the old stuff.
Normally when I do an episode of my review series, I watch my videos multiple times before the video gets posted, like just to make sure. I'm like, okay, are the video edits all right? Is the audio fine?
Yeah.
Is there anything I need to do to fix? Like the last video I did, which was like Aka 13 Districts, which was an anime that me and my best friend Harriet did. I'm looking at it going, this is good. I need to change this. I need to change that. And by the end of the day, like when I finally get it already uploaded to YouTube, it's fine. I've gone through multiple versions and iterations, and I'm just sitting there going like, I hate this video now because I've had to go back and listen to it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But once it's live, I'm like, thank fucking Christ that's over. And then I move on to the next thing. So
I mean, the editing already, you're like watching segments on their own like multiple times, sometimes like dozens of times to make sure it's right. And like you just want to post it and be done with it.
I'm not going to lie, after this exact interview between you and me, I'm probably going to spend like hours afterwards trying to make sure that the audio is properly arranged for the export to YouTube, that the subtitles are up and running. And then there's going to be another part of me that will go back and rewatch the entirety of this because I'm trying to find clips that are under a minute long because YouTube essentially is trying to become TikTok. And
dude, you grow so much from posting shorts. Oh my god, I noticed that when I post shorts, I gain so many they get so many views too. Holy shit! Like all of my shorts probably have more views than one of my shorts probably has more views than all of my long form content combined. It's crazy.
For me, it kind of sort of, what's the best way to say it? I used to pull my hair out and get really, really stressed because I would work on a video that takes months to write, record, and be decent before being released to the public. And I would be lucky if that video gets like maybe 100 views within the span of a month.
Yeah.
And I would beat myself up. And then I'm like, well, now that we're doing the clip stuff, I take a small minute from that extra long video, and it's like night and day. Like I took a minute long thing from the Aka video, which is, you know, just over 100 views, and that got like 1,500, and I'm looking at it wide-eyed, slack-jawed, going,
yeah.
So it's not my fault. It's just literally the YouTube algorithm isn't picking me up, and people are liking. Yeah.
It's the attention span. It's like it's like all of the like typical buzzword variables, and like you hate to see it because it's so buzzwordy, but it is just that. Like it is just buzzwordy.
The algorithm. Ah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the content landscape these days.
If you don't mind me asking, because you had mentioned that you drew your character model, like that you're an artist. How long have you been doing art, if you don't mind me asking?
Correct. I didn't draw this one. This one happens to be one that I got from Etsy. I can change. And actually, I'm a little bit scared for my... I haven't made a toggle for this crown yet, so
I'm going to fade back to me just in case something happens.
No, it's okay. I'm not gonna change into that model. There's nothing like toggles or weird toggles, but I can pull it up actually as an item.
Yeah, we're kind of hesitant when someone says, "Oh, let me switch over."
So I'll tell you the backstory while you decide to go through that, and I'll put the camera on me. So a little while ago, okay, cool. So I see that. I'm gonna just, yep, that's the character model that I noticed on your Instagram and Twitter and
Double burrito.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is the one that I drew, and this the first ever Vtube Studio Live 2D model that I drew. It's a lot of layers, and it really sucks. And it the fact that the layering sucks shows in the rigging. You can tell that the rigging on the one that I made and the one that I'm using is the quality differs vastly. Even though I probably spent more on my rigging, but that's just because as a model artist, I was not experienced at all. I'm gonna put it away. I hate it.
You say that minus the rigging. I actually genuinely enjoy both of the character models that you had, even though it is showing, even if it is showing like you know, like any imperfections or anything like that. Sometimes the imperfections are what gives yourself character. And I say this
true.
I say this once again as someone with a character model who I didn't see any tutorials on how to make hair, but I just sat there and I'm like, fuck it, how hard can hair be? And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, this doesn't look like hair.
I mean, especially with VTubing, it's hard, right? Because I feel like everyone's a little self-taught in most areas of VTubing, and people kind of want to gatekeep all of that information. So I can definitely see there not being a tutorial on hair bones, you know, like I spent like probably the most amount of time spent on making my Vroids is making sure the hair bones are legit.
I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, we're both in the media landscape. A lot of people will gatekeep information, almost like they're sitting there going, by giving you this information, you're going to be gunning for my spot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised because there is a lot of paranoia. There is a lot of, this is a medium where, once again, your success is dictated by the chat, by a bunch of strangers, by the algorithm. And sometimes you're just sitting there going like, oh, I didn't perform well this past month. What am I doing wrong? And so as such, paranoia blooms when in actuality, there's a lot of things that are just outside of your control that you can't really govern or do anything. So if you don't mind me asking, you mentioned that you didn't do this current character model, but I've also noticed that in your previous streams, you have updates to your character model. You were doing Silk Song and you had the main protagonist off of your right shoulder, which meant that the turnaround for someone to make those small little changes was quick. Who is your artist? And I guess, do you have them on standby for when you want to do like certain streams and things like that?
That's funny. You're making it sound like it's all very like streamlined and high production, but I actually just got this model off of Etsy for like $7, and the little Hornet I found on Twitter for free, and all of the like little tweaks that I make, they're just like really cheap or free assets. And in Vtuber Studio, sorry, not Vtuber Studio, sorry, in Vtube Studio, which is the program that I'm using for the Live 2D model, you can like hide layers and pin stuff and put it like in between, which is the crown that I'm wearing is also a separate item, and you can like pin it in between layers and stuff like that. So it's like it's become a lot more customizable and a lot cheaper as well than it used to be. So the necessity for like a Vroid, because it's cheaper, is no longer really there, I feel. So no, I don't have an artist and I don't have them on standby. I literally just grab like free or cheap assets.
And you just go to town with it. All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, the following is brought to you in part by Jamaican beef patties. I did not have lunch before starting this. I'm like, eat. Oh shit, I need to talk now.
Oh, yummy beef patties. Okay, yeah. Fucking go off.
So, if you don't mind me asking, so we had a brief chat before this episode started. I was thinking that you were in the UK or America, and the reason why is because you brought up in one of your previous streams and chats that you had been to Germany, that you had been to France, where you found a French Pikachu lying on the ground. And you had mentioned that you are in the Netherlands or whatever. How long have you been Netherlandier, I guess? Is that how you say it? I am not good with this.
Berlander.
Oh, wow. the pressure to explain away my whole culture. Crazy. I mean, okay, so I was born in the Netherlands, which makes me Dutch.
Okay.
And so, I had my early childhood here in the Netherlands, and then when I was 6 years old, we moved to France. So I had a little bit of my childhood. I grew up in France. Then we came back, and I also spent some time in America in my like young adulthood, in my 20s. But I've mainly been living here in the Netherlands for most of the time, I feel. So I've always been Dutch.
The reason why I bring that up is because you don't have an accent whatsoever, to the point where I could bump into you on the street and I would have no idea that you are Dutch. To the point where I'm like, oh, go ahead.
I mean, no, I was just gonna say that I highly doubt that to Dutch people I don't have an accent, because this seems to happen a lot where, so there's like heavy Dutch accents where you can instantly spot them. And then there's like nuances that people that are very good English speakers, but they're like natively Dutch, they will have these like small nuances, like switching the A and the E sounds or some shit like that, or like struggling to make a T sound and switching it out for a D sound. So I think Dutch speakers can definitely clock me. But I have heard this before from non-Dutch speakers, or German speakers for that matter, because Germans can also clock me every time.
They're able to just pick out that you're Dutch.
No, yeah, exactly. But non-Germanics have never been able to tell. It's very weird. I don't know. I personally think I have no accent as well. I've recently been made aware that I have a Valley Girl accent, which I didn't recently, as in this morning, which I didn't know.
Definitely, when I heard you speak on one of your previous live streams, the first thing that threw me away was I'm just sitting there going like, is this girl in high school? She seems like the type of girl that I've bumped into in the US in high school, and then I'm just sitting there going like,
oh my God.
Let's do some background research. And I saw some photos of you, and I'm just like, this is the type of girl who shows up at my concerts. What the fuck?
Don't give away my age.
I'm not giving away your age. I'm just casually saying, watch what you post. But
I'll post what I want.
Witches hate high schoolers, apparently, according to Mod Haha.
I see. Wait, witches hate high schoolers? Wait, which witches? Sandwiches. Sorry.
Maybe the witch that cursed you into a human.
Wow. I didn't see the connection.
I
don't dwell on the past.
Okay. Move towards your future kind of thing. Well, the question that I do want to ask, because now that I know for a fact that you are Dutch, if you don't mind me asking, what's the because you've spent time in the United States, you've spent time throughout Europe, what would you say are the certain things that are more like what separates the Netherlands from, say, like America or Germany, or like, is there anything that you would say is profoundly of the Netherlands that you can't really get anywhere else?
Oh man, interesting. You can walk anywhere in the chat. Yeah, okay. You can walk anywhere. I don't know. That's. I feel like Europe has a lot of that. Something profoundly Dutch, which sets us apart, is I think maybe the sort of almost autistic rigidity that everyone has. Everything always needs to be a certain way, and being assaulted by hard candy. True, also as well. We have some strange traditions. But not as strange as the girl whipping that fucking happens in wherever the fuck that is. The Valentine's Day whipping shit.
The Valentine's Day whipping shit? I'm sorry, I need some background.
I think it's in like... Is it Czech? Where they do like the... remember. There was
sounds like it sounds like a German thing, to be honest. I
used to watch this streamer. It may be. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It may be. I used to watch this streamer. Her name was Shapirka. And she was from like that area. And she said one of the things that they do for like a fertility ritual is that they'll have like vines from a willow. The guys will take vines from a willow and like fucking just absolutely slap their crush's butt with it. But I feel like, I don't know, catching hard candy in the skull is way better than getting slapped by her crush.
We're also inventing
silence.
Well, I'm looking at the chat, sorry, as well as I'm chewing on something. A whip is a traditional Russian wedding gift. The whip, all girls, no matter what age, for fertility is kind of controversial. So
this is Czech Republic. Yeah, okay, I was right.
So one of the things that happened, I'm gonna get a little bit personal. There was a girl that I was dating and intending to marry, and she had, her background was like Chinese, Portuguese, German, and I think Austrian. I might be a little off on that last one. But one of the things that they mentioned is like, oh yeah, and on the wedding night here, and they handed me a blanket, and I'm looking at it going, I'm sorry, what is this? And it's like, oh, this blanket is supposed to help with fertility. And I'm like, I don't want your prehistoric fuck blanket.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this, the passed down blanket.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting there going like, I don't want to smell the memories here. When's the last time you washed this goddamn thing? So that was just sort of a weird, odd family tradition thing that happens, that gets passed down. If you don't mind me asking, so you have been on both, like Twitch, you started on June 2020, and then I believe it's your YouTube stuff was done on January 8th, 2021. Normally, it's actually the opposite, where the YouTube channel is made before the Twitch channel. And you're someone who goes in reverse. So the question that I wanted to ask is, did you just want to start off as a YouTuber and then, start off as a Twitch live streamer and then decided later going like, oh, I need to put my hands in as many pots as possible and grow from there?
So my stream account actually just started as a viewer account. It was the pandemic, and I was like watching Animal Crossing streams on YouTube, and then I found that the YouTube streaming culture was sort of dominated by minors, and I don't really vibe with that a lot. It just doesn't fit my sense of humor, to be PG. So as a viewer, I migrated from YouTube to Twitch, and I vibed with the streaming culture on Twitch so much, and I discovered actually VTubers through some friends that I made in someone else's chat, and then I got really into VTubers, and so then in December of 2020, I decided that I also wanted to become a VTuber. I wanted to stream on Twitch because that was just the culture that I enjoyed. The VTuber culture, I enjoyed the Twitch culture, and I always wanted to be a content creator. So I was like, I think this is just the perfect platform for me to like yap and sing and like be creative and just do whatever I want. So it did kind of start in tandem, because then, what did you say, January 8th was my first post on YouTube, or was the channel created?
The channel was created on January 8th, 2021. That is your YouTube channel, and then your Twitch was June 2nd, 2020.
I see. Yeah. So in December of 2020, I started streaming on Twitch. And then I think kind of people told me that I should post like, because I was doing primarily karaoke back then. And people told me that I should post some covers to YouTube because they would like to listen to them. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that. It's not so much that I started the YouTube as a content thing. I more so started the YouTube as
engaging with your audience.
What do you call? Yeah. Exactly.
Well, you and I have a somewhat of a similar situation in a sense that I started my YouTube channel originally because I was in journalism and I needed something to take the stress out. I was planning on getting into game reviewing, but I wasn't thinking of actually like uploading stuff. What I was uploading was me playing acoustic covers of songs. I would go out, learn them, and just play them and upload them to get over my stage fright. So that way when I go in front of a live audience, I wouldn't be too freaked out. So, you know, the pipeline of, oh, I'm going to be just singing on the internet to now we're doing full-time content creation is a thing.
Yeah.
But I will casually say I saw footage of you at a convention singing a Japanese song, I believe. It was a city pop song
last year. Yeah. Yeah.
So when did you learn Japanese? And should I be concerned you're trying to take over the world?
That's a dangerous sentence. I do not know Japanese. But I would say since I speak a lot of languages, it is easy for me to like phonetically sort of learn, especially a song, in a language that I don't know. I've kind what I don't know if it's called what it's called in Dutch. It's called like a language. What is a knobbel? I don't know the word for this, but I don't have like the type of struggle when learning languages that I struggle like pronouncing things or intonation. I think I'm quite good at that. So I do not know Japanese really. I like to think I can understand some because of the copious amounts of anime and Japan content that I consume, that
Those are
I
few
can just
words you
like
can pick
sort
up.
of have it in the background. Yeah, exactly. Like there's just like words, phrases, or like, you know, certain intonations and stuff that you pick up from engaging with a culture. But by no means do I speak Japanese. It's literally just all phonetics.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense because like you're sitting there going like, I'll memorize the lyrics, and pretty much Japanese is based off of the a, e, u, a, o phonetic sound, and then everything else is just different variations on that. So long as you get that basic phonetics, then you can pretty much make most of the stuff in the Japanese lexicon.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I used to watch a fuck ton of anime. I still watch a lot of anime, but I've taken a bit of a hiatus. I used to be able to pick up what exactly was going on in a scene without even subtitles on. And I just know because I'd memorize certain phrases or certain things that are said, and I realize I'm like, okay, this is the context of the conversation. And then I turn around, I look at the subtitles, I'm like, yeah, I was right on that. But like,
It's
that's
not
totally
that
me.
different from learning a language.
Yeah, that's totally me because like I had something playing off in the background and I was cooking pizza and it got into a point where, oh, they're having a very serious conversation. One party is like super pissed at the other about something. And I went back and, you know, essentially rewound it. I was like, oh yeah, she's totally pissed at him for cheating on him. Okay, got it.
So this is how white girls watch K-dramas.
I was going to casually say, because you, according to the notes that I have,
Am white. Yeah, correct.
well, I mean, I know that you're white, but
You're what?
I mean, they've shown themselves on stream before.
I know it's a little in joke for myself. If you ever watched Onigi on YouTube, he used to do like a lot of like Newgrounds animations, and he posted some of them onto YouTube. He did one for Final Fantasy VII, and it was Cloud and Tifa, and who's that? The dude with the gun for a hand. I forgot what his name was.
Barrett.
Barrett. They lost the battle, and Barrett's like, "It's okay, baby. The gun's not even loaded, which is probably the reason why we lost." And Cloud gets up and says, "All right, come on, my chocolate comrade. We will win today yet again." He's like, "Chocolate?" And he's like, "You know, because you're a black." I'm what?
Oh dear Lord.
Video games.
So, if you don't mind me asking though, because I know that your character model is supposed to be an otter, but there are a lot of things on your character model that would make me think that you still have the cat girl-ness to it, as evident by, for example, on your left pocket, there is sort of like a cat decal, and the ears and color scheme of your character model, in terms of the hair color, would make most people assume that your model is still that of a cat as opposed to an otter. Like, what do you do to differentiate yourself between that original label, I guess, of who your character model used to be?
Justify your looks. Yeah.
Fine.
No, I get it. I get this question a lot. I even got this question today. Like, why are your ears like cat ears?
Mm-hmm.
This model, like I said, was a cheap buy off of Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is lucky for me because it was kind of exactly what I was going for, except that this is like a fox. I'm pretty sure. Hold on. There are toggles somewhere for the original ears that came on this.
Okay.
They are huge.
Giant.
Yeah. So I didn't have a lot of like say in like the you know, accessories on this model. But I could like I said, pin items in between layers, which is what I did with the ears, except the only available ear assets are cat ears because everybody fucking wants to be cat girl, so they're gonna make cat ears, obviously. There's no like otter ears because no one wants to be an otter girl because it's so incredibly niche for some reason. I don't know why.
It does feel odd because, like, basically I would assume that if you can find assets for maybe, say, like a panda, that might be able to work in regards to going from panda to otter. But even then, I think otters aren't known for ears.
Their ears.
Yeah.
So the reason I chose the ears, because it's, first of all, it's cute. It's the like Neko Mimi vibes you want to have the ears. But also as well, I think what's really cute about older otters and stuff is that they do have like a distinct discoloration of the fur on their face versus like their ears, back and paws. And that's really the vibe I was trying to go for, was like the fur discoloration, which is why I chose to have the ears visible. And I do have an official model that I want to debut soon. I just have to get her rigged. And the ears on that are more rounded. They are still protruding more than I would say traditional otter design would. But they are more rounded and more sort of in that realm. But I think the biggest part of what I have done to like sort of quote unquote otterify the stream is that in my previous model you saw that the sweater has like water in it, and the background is like a tiny lake. And the blueness of this model, I think the water element is what I'm trying to use the water element to like make it more a semi-aquatic mammal vibes.
Because I was going to also ask about your background, right? Because I'm sitting there looking at your character model, and I'm seeing traditional sounds odd, but I'm seeing like, okay, we're dealing with like a modern VTuber character with certain assets as well as the crown and all of that, and then you have that just opposed to like a fantasy background with like frogs and fireflies and all of this stuff, and I'm like, is this working, or is this like a clash between two different styles? And I didn't know exactly how 100% to feel about it, because I'm like, it definitely works with the vibe. It's just more along the lines of like, I don't know what exactly you were going for, and so to sort of understand what you were trying to patch between the background and the foreground.
I like that. That's a valuable insight. Thank you for saying that, because like the simps in the chat would never say that. Just kidding, chat. I love you, but chat has been known to people please the streamer. I'll sometimes ask if the audio levels are okay, or if like something's out of time, and they'll be like, yeah, it's fine, and then I'll watch the VOD and it's not fine.
Yeah.
Can't trust chat with shit. But I don't know. Personally, I think it works. If someone looks at it and they don't think it works and it's not for them, then that's fine too. Like I said, this model is not like customized 100%, so it's not really something I can do a lot about. I can only do so much with the resources that I have. I would say my official model design, which you can, by the way, see on my Twitter, it's the pinned post if anyone is curious. It does fit in better with this surroundings, and the surroundings are also purposeful because of the world building that I did in the lore. We just wanted to ruin the VOD, also no one tell them they're muted. That threw me off. I'm not muted. Am I?
No, you're fine. I can see you on mine. The fact that we're able to have the conversation proves if it's one thing I'm good at, one thing I'm good at is making sure that my guests sound great. Me, on the other hand, we had two podcast episodes that were done exclusively in VR chat. I got this really fancy VR headset. I'd never done VR before. And I was just sitting there going, okay, well, let's do a podcast using my podcast microphone. And that was fine until I actually looked at where the guest was and realized the microphone was nowhere near where my face should be. And so I'm like, oh, I'm getting secondhand audio. And then I tried, yeah, that's like, I'm going to have to do a lot of work. That was for our Mio Cosmos episode. And then we did...
Funny story about her.
What?
After this one.
Okay. And then after that one, we did one with PurritoVT. And the thing is about Rippy is that I got the lavalier microphone. I clipped it onto my shirt, but for whatever reason, I didn't properly set up the audio in advanced audio settings. So rather than picking it up, it basically... I don't even know what exactly it grabbed. Whatever audio it grabbed, it wasn't from the
microphone
lavalier.
you had plugged into your computer.
Mm-hmm.
It was ripping off of that.
Yeah, and it was awful. So give me a second. I'm currently on your Twitter right now. I've got the character model. I believe the post was from January 14th, 2025. Here she is, PurritoVT.2. That's the one you're talking about?
Correct, yes.
Cool. So I'm just going to go and drag that up on screen. Oh, God. Give me a second.
Oh, God, it's naked.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh!
Yeah, but this is the second
Exclusive.
It's
exclusive.
Not, it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive if it's made available for the public.
All exclusive. All exclusive.
What are we doing with our lives right now? But so your character model is shining a little bit more. I see the ears are more otter-like. You're adding red to it on top of the... Is it white or silver hair?
I would say it's white.
Mm-hmm. And you have some type of potion set up around your waist on a belt, and there is just a leg stocking that isn't attached to anything. What is that?
It's attached
a leg
to a
warmer.
little garter chain. It's attached to a little garter chain.
Okay.
Listen, Vtuber designs, they don't have to make sense rooted in like physics or whatever, you know.
I mean, I come from the world of anime, enough said. More along the lines of...
Yeah, it's gonna be whimsical and cute, you know.
Yeah. I'm perfectly okay with that. For me, I'm just legitimately curious as to what goes into the concept of making these character models and what things that you want to bring to the forefront when you get like an artist to commission it or whenever you decide to make it yourself. Could you tell me a little bit more what went into designing this next version of your character? Like what you thought you needed to bring to the table this time around?
So if you've noticed, everything I've done up to this point is sort of patchy, you know, like I designed my VTuber and then I invented lore for it. And then I rebranded as an otter and I invented lore for it. And this time around, I wanted to take the lore I already had and invent a VTuber for it instead, so that it feels more incorporated. Mm-hmm. I'm really playing into like the fantasy setting of the world building, sort of with like the cutesy Lolita goth sort of wardrobe. That's also heavily inspired by Kingdom Hearts, but just replace the zippers with chains. Mm-hmm. You may also notice the crown that is directly ripped out of Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, is that where it's from? Okay.
It is. Don't bonk me for ripping it. I love Kingdom Hearts and I wanted to show my love. And a lot of design elements from that are also inspiration from this very model that I'm using right now, because I grew really attached to it and I just wanted to incorporate her into my world.
originally when I started off doing video game reviews, I was originally just sort of under myself, and then I did I guess it's kind of a collaboration. The girl that I was dating just said, hey, you're good at video game reviews. Can you help me resurrect my show? And I'm like, all right, sure. Tell me what you got. And we spend a huge chunk of our time trying to set up lore, trying to justify what exactly is going on involving our characters and things like that. And it became a lot of work trying to incorporate storyline and narrative on top of like the doing the video reviews that we were doing, to the point where I'm just sitting there going like, okay, we either need to start hiring animators or we need to go back from square one. And I'm happy that, well, okay, I'm not happy that things didn't work out, but I am happy that through, I know that almost, I'm like, oh God.
No, it's a valid feeling to have, honestly, like, speak your truth, King.
But I am happy that when I was able to eventually go back and start again, do my own reviews under my own blanket, I didn't have to worry about creating this massive storyline. I didn't have to worry about creating this lore. Sometimes when I'm having a review and I have a guest over, I might have like an interesting skit. I might give my co-hosts, such as Harriet, I might give them supernatural powers, but it's only for the sake of the video. It's not for like long format storytelling or anything like that. It's just like, okay, what works with the video that we're doing? What can we add to the script that'll make people laugh and really enjoy things? So I'm just very briefly, honestly, with this is and Thirst, I might be wrong with the pronunciation. Honestly, with pro content creation, half the work is making it sustainable pacing. So yeah, I definitely, dig that sort of situation. Also, Mad Haha says, "Reject lore, become frog." Whatever.
Yes, must become frog. Well, so, how to explain frogs? I've recently just gotten really into frogs, and I really like them, and I think they're so cute. And we did a whole like subathon that was frog themed, and we played a bunch of frog games, and I had like a bunch of frog assets. Not that I'm going to reject my whole lore and rebrand as a frog again, but I think frogs are cute. So if I could reject lore and just become frog, I would. If I could just be like something else every day, like shapeshift every day, I would. But that's not, I don't think like that just like kills viewer retention probably.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. So there's this girl that I become friends with in the con scene. I've basically spoken to her like maybe once or twice in my life, but the thing that I know about her is this girl loves frogs. And would all the time like show photos of her pet frog, and when they're playing video games, like as well, sometimes she'll show her alimony. Sometimes she'll show the frog live on stream or whatever, and I'm like, damn, this bitch loves frogs. So I don't 100% understand it, but then again, also because I don't own pets. So I've always been like a solo recluse. So maybe if I get myself a pet, maybe it will start to make sense. So
pets are good. I love my pets. I have 4 pets. I love hanging out with them, and they all have like their distinct personalities. I would love to meet this streamer's frog.
I will show you the streamer probably after our broadcast, because I have to look through everything, and I'm like, wait, what are they called again? Right, okay, this is the one. You have 4 pets. What are your pets? What are their personalities?
Okay, so the oldest one is my dog. He's like 8 years old, 9, maybe 10. He's a little dog. He's a tiny dog. And his personality is severely traumatized, skittish, and annoying and stinky.
Okay.
And I love him. He's adorable. I love him, and he's such a good boy. And then I have 2 cats that are sisters. Their names are Bagel and Bean. And one of them is sort of like tomcatish, very like big, strong, commanding, but very chill. And the other one is like skinny, pretty kitty that's always like bitchy. And then we recently got a 3rd cat. And she's a ragdoll, and she's very like curious and inquisitive, and she's not letting the other cats scare her, even though you know, the Bagel, the kiddish one, hisses at her a lot, but she doesn't let that get her down. She's really like curious and wants to play with them a lot, and with the dog. Yeah, they're very cute. It's very cool to have like little fluffy, fuzzy roommates that you can just pick up and pet.
Well, not all of them like to be picked up and pet. I've learned that some cats are like, leave me alone, or I will scratch your face out.
Yeah.
But I say all of this knowing that Wrath is a huge cat dad, and loves cats. Is on the process of getting a new cat, but this will technically be his 3rd, from what I can gather. Just has to decide on what kind of cat he wants, or what kind of cat wants him, because it's kind of like a sword in the stone kind of thing. So Wrath originally had a cat of his own who unfortunately passed away, but then before that cat passed away, he basically took in a stray that was it was domesticated. And Wrath was just sitting there going like, all right, I guess this one's going to be my new cat. And then he went on a vacation, and then the cat did not come back. And I'm like, oh, okay, well.
No, I mean, that is typical, like semi-domesticated stray cat vibes. I've known many a semi-stray cat.
Yeah, I was like, motherfucker, she left me for another man, didn't she? Bet that's what she did.
Better feed.
I mean, whatever works. I would like to believe that cat is out on a grand adventure on the high seas, and swashbuckling and
that cat's eating mad fish in some grandma's basement.
Well, I will say this: if she comes crawling back, she's going to be sorely mistaken, because there's going to be another cat in this house.
Dumb.
I mean, as I mentioned before, the cat could have just sat there and just said, "Oh, Wrath is gone. I guess I better mosey on down the road." I don't 100% know what was going through the eyes of a cat, but one of the things that I do know is what goes through the mind of a Vtuber or a content creator. And the one thing I gotta ask, because you're usually live streaming every week, how do you prevent burnout? How do you prevent yourself from wanting to take massive breaks because you just aren't motivated to do anything?
Autism. I don't. Oh my
That's
God,
gonna be sound clipped, by the way.
I already know a sound clip for that one.
Yeah. The following is brought to you in part by autism.
My model tracking. Oh my God.
Flash Kids has the perfect sound clip for that.
Yeah.
They did
One second while I fix my.
Oh gosh, she left. Oh my God, just like my cat, she left me. She left me. No, God. Why? Why does everything just leave?
Don't worry, I will be back, and I do not require fatty fish.
She will be back in Avengers Endgame.
They did
there we are.
There we go. Yay!
Back. Sorry, what was the question again? Autism. Yeah. I just really like the routine of just having like a set thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Most days, if I can fill in my days with a set thing, and I know what it's gonna be, and I know I'm not gonna get overwhelmed, and I know I have control over it as well, which is like big part of why I started streaming, is because it's something that I can do, that I can earn money with, that I can control myself. I think that's, for me, is a big part of not getting burnout and not taking long breaks. And also, of course, allowing myself to take breaks, such as after subathon, or, for instance, last week, I just randomly took a week vacation because I wanted to.
If you don't mind me asking, so once again, I'm kind of sort of like, I've been live streaming for a while, but I'm not like active with chats normally. I'd be lucky if I streamed to maybe 8 people a night, if that. But subathons are what? Like, people will sub for you, or you give them free subscriptions to your channel? Like, what exactly?
Oh my god, they wish.
They wish.
So a subathon is an event where you raise money by setting goals, and then chat can subscribe or gift subs, and if you then reach those goals, you'll, like, for instance, chat tweets is a really popular first sub goal for like 5 or 10 subs, and then, you know, you make it go up to like intervals of 50 subs, and every 50 subs there's like a mini event, and then there's like a big thing at the end that this whole subathon like paid for. So all those gift subs and stuff, they usually go towards some sort of goal that's like the big end goal, maybe like 500, maybe 1,000 subscribers, to raise money for this like big end goal.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And is that also tied to, like, I know that there's hype trains as well. Is that also tied to subathons, or am I misremembering things?
Subathons do garner a lot of hype trains usually. Yeah, that's definitely something that happens.
Apparently, you bribe people in the chat with Subway vouchers?
Listen, I cannot guarantee the validity of the vouchers, but I'm not opposed to offering them.
We're talking Subway sandwiches, or get on the metro? Like, what are we
We're talking, I'll draw you a get out of jail free card for like kicking the metro doors in.
I mean, whatever works.
Allegedly.
Anyone sane jumps the metro fare. I mean, so long as they have the old school turnstiles, unless they have the ones where you have to tap on and then you like push the bars inward type of situation. If you don't mind me asking, I know that your mom is a nurse. I don't know.
Correct. Wow. Okay, Nardwar.
That
I told you, he has a special set of skills. He knows journalism.
I went to school for journalism, and when
I went to school with Nardwar.
I mean, Nardwar is a Toronto native. I did not bump into him, but people do compare me to Nardwar a lot, and I'm like, is that a good thing? I don't know.
Yes. Nardwar's the GOAT of interviews, bro. Crazy, insane man.
But, yeah, your mom is a nurse. I don't know how long she has been, but the one thing I know about people in the medical field is that whenever I talk to them, they're like, what is sleep? Sleep is just a concept, and I'm like, how many hours of sleep are you running? I slept 2 days ago, and I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah, so she's actually went into management nursing recently.
Okay.
So they're taking her off of shifts and actually just giving her set hours. But up till now, rest has been hard to come by for her, and she's been known to like sleep on the couch. Yeah.
And has she always been in the medical field for as long as you know, or has this been like a recent thing?
No, actually, my entire childhood, she just, well, that's not entirely true. She used to be in fashion, distribution when I was a kid, meaning she, like, worked in a warehouse for shoes or something. I'm not sure. Yeah. I was very young. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But because childcare was taking up a lot of her time, she had to quit, and then she was basically a homemaker until we came back to the Netherlands after we lived in France. And when we came back, she took several, like, I would say typical mom jobs, like cleaning. She did chefing at a preschool. After that, she went into, like, out of the school circuits and more like, how would you say, industrial chefing? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's worked in a restaurant as well. And then after she quit that, she just decided to do nursing. So I feel like she's done a lot of things. Mostly, I would say traditional, like, female-leaning jobs, but nonetheless, a lot of, like, I guess I would say a lot of it is, like, you know, rooted in care, cleaning and cooking and stuff like that. But she's done a lot.
Well, this is good, because I was worried for a second, because when I found out that your mom was a nurse, I was sitting there going, like, depending on how long she's worked in the medical field, that could have been tough growing up and not having a mom, because their shifts are insane. And it can be very difficult to raise kids, to raise a family while working in the medical field. Like, you'll have your days off, but, like, it'll be tough because you'll be sitting there going, like, where's mom? Where's dad? Where, you know, what's going on?
I can imagine, yeah.
So
I can definitely imagine.
I'm glad that your family was around to look after you, because once again, there are some people that just don't have the folks around, and as such, just have a really sort of wonky upbringing type of situation. How long ago did you live in France?
Oh, that is a long time ago. How old? That's like 22 years ago we moved there. And we lived there for like 6 years. So 14 years ago I came back here. Am I saying that right? No.
Maybe.
I don't know.
The one thing I did not check was your actual age. And I there's the one saying, you never ask a girl what their age is. Unless
VTubers, am I right? You never ask a VTuber what their age is. It's always 18 by default.
By default. And if anyone asks, your first thing is, why are you a fucking cop? Are you a cop?
Are you a cop? What, are you gonna sell my information on the internet?
The following is brought to you in part by NordVPN. No, I'm just... Damn it.
Is it time for me to walk my dog already?
Might be time for you to walk your dog and do your thing.
It actually is.
You're going to leave?
I will be back. Unlike your cat, I will be back.
It's okay. We will talk with the chat while you briefly go away, and we'll see you in roughly about 15 minutes.
Yes.
Wrath and I will hold down the fort as we are known to do so. So let me just fade back. Hi, everybody. We're about to get very comfortable.
Okay, bye. I'll see you guys in a sec.
Bye-bye. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, I am still dealing with the chaos that is known as the Toronto weather system, because right now, holy shit, like earlier this month, it was snowing. And then now we've gone to like, oh, guess what? It's now 32 degrees, which is like 89 Fahrenheit if you live in the backwards part of the world, otherwise known as America.
Fuck you.
I'm just working with what you give me. But I will casually say, if any of y'all are from the Toronto region, my band, Camo Kimono, will be performing at, I'm trying to remember, it's like J-Rock Rising 2026. Give me a second. I'll get out the information. But I play in an alternative rock band called Camo Kimono, and because I dress up in these Japanese festival robes whenever I perform, people have got in the mindset of, oh, you play in a Japanese rock band. And I'm like, sure. Do you want to play in our Japanese festival? Absolutely. So I've really been enjoying the opportunity that has arisen from the insanity. So I'm just going to very briefly show you. Yes, on July 19th, 2026, my band Kamikomono will be performing at the Piston, which is in downtown Toronto. Doors will open at 8 p.m. And we are performing alongside Rising Ronin and Tokuiten. My pronunciation might be dead fucking wrong. But yeah, we're getting ready for that. Not only that, but we were also selected to perform at Japan Festival Canada, which is the largest Japanese festival in all of Canada, which will be located a couple blocks away from where I am at Celebration Square in Mississauga. It'll be on August 15th or 16th. They haven't given us an exact date. They haven't even given us a set time. I know that it's going to be like a short time schedule because when we performed last year on the main stage, we only had 20 minutes, and I'm just like sitting there looking at it going, okay, we can work with this. And it's going to be fun times all throughout the morrow, as what my good buddy Wrath says.
Morrow.
The morrow.
On the yes, not the marrow.
Did I say marrow?
It sounded like you said marrow. It's like, whose bones are you sucking through right now?
I mean, what is a YouTuber and a journalist other than a blood-sucking leech on society?
It's raw. It's fucking raw.
Have you been playing any new games, Wrath?
I have been playing Star Wars Outlaw for the last couple of days.
And how would you describe it?
It's one of those. It's building up to like one of those heists. So you're basically finding a crew to pull off like this big heist. I think. I don't know if that's going to be like the end game or like the middle game, because we had like a pseudo false start of getting a crew until I got betrayed.
Okay.
Literally, the game has 4 different factions. And each faction can give you different bonuses, discounts in their local area, and also if you happen to go into one of their territories, they won't outright shoot you on sight. But each mission may or may not piss off one of the other factions, so you're kind of like balancing it out.
Okay.
Like there's Crimson Dawn, there's the Pikes, there's the Asagi, and the Hutts, which is of course Jabba the Hutt. He is the last faction I have met, and I've already pissed him off immensely. Because fuck Jabba.
Fuck
Jabba. But I may have to be nice with him for a little bit so I don't immediately get jumped on in his territory, because his entire territory is fucking Tatooine.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So right now I'm just trying to put it at, the good section, and then there is a piece of armor that I might get from him, but everyone else I'm on pretty good terms. Like there's always like, hey, do you want to double cross them and you get more money? I was like, no, let's just try to get everyone on the good side except Jabba, and we'll just go from there.
Well, so the major thing that, because the galaxy is a big place in the Star Wars universe, right? So I would have assumed that there would be like different planets that you jump to in which you have to deal with the crime families of each individual planet. It does.
Now I haven't explored all of them, but the first planet, I don't know if I can go back to it because it was in the beginning. There was a second planet that I mainly did a lot of stuff on there, but that I can return to. and then there's Tatooine, and then there's like this frozen planet that I'm currently bouncing back and forth with. So I don't know if there's any more that I can go to. There is an Imperial space station that I can go in and fuck with them about.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, fuck the Empire.
Yep.
It is open world. The Tatooine's obviously open world and lots of sand. Lots and lots of sand.
Well, yes, because it's Tatooine.
Yeah. And then there's the frozen world is, I think, is more corridor. It's not open world because I think it's literally a floating asteroid at this point. And the other one is open world as well. And that's about it so far. So I don't know how many planets I can actually go to, but I know Tatooine is the most iconic one.
Mm-hmm.
These are not the droids that you are looking for.
These are not the droids we are looking for. Also, I want to give you my wallet.
Lizard.
So I'm kind of iffy on the Star Wars franchise, and hear me out. I grew up watching the original trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Episode 4, 5, and 6. Loved those movies. Fantastic movies. But the games I was never really 100% able to get into, and that's primarily because there are some games that just don't speak to me, and Star Wars has like this long, diverse sense of games, right? Like you'll have the Star Wars Battlefront franchise that everybody loves. Then there'll be like the Bounty Hunter stuff, which is focused on Jango Fett, and then you'll have like Shadows of the Empire, which is like we've made a brand new character and we're following him in between the stuff that he's in between the original trilogy, and you're secretly working for the rebels. And there's just a bunch of games that were not always widely accessible to me, because there were some that were just Xbox exclusive, like the what was it called, the Jedi ones, the really, really popular
Jedi
ones.
Outcast?
No, not Outcast. Oh my god, it was an Xbox. Knights of the Old Republic. That's the one.
There we go.
Ever since Knights of the Old Republic, I realized, I'm like, oh, won't be able to get my hands on these games because they're for other consoles. And because of that, that caused me to splinter from playing Star Wars games. Because I'm like, hey, if I can't get my hands on, you know, whatever version that I want, what's the point on getting invested in this franchise? I was looking at the game that you were playing, and a lot of people were telling me that it unfortunately gets really, really boring and repetitive. And so that really turned me off. I did play the Jedi Survivor game, the first one. I didn't play the second one. And
Second one's pretty good.
And I did play, I'm trying to remember. It was the big one where Darth Vader secretly has an apprentice. And you know which one I'm talking about. He showed up as a character in one of the Soul Calibur games.
Yeah, it's
Star Killer.
Force Unleashed.
Yeah, Force Unleashed. And I did enjoy playing games like The Force Unleashed, but I think I'm kind of sort of walking away from the franchise in general, because most of the games aren't hitting the way that they should. And I say this
there is one game that I think I don't think it will. I don't know if you'll like it, but I liked it. Mm-hmm. And that is Star Wars Republic Commandos. And you play as not the Stormtrooper, but Clone Trooper Commandos. Okay. During the Clone Wars. You're a squad of 4 and you can command them, and it's a first-person shooter. When you play it plays almost like Halo, because you have shields and you have health and you can melee. So you think of it as like Halo meets Star Wars, literally.
Republic Commando released March 1st, 2005.
Yes. And it's a PC game as well, so you can get it on Steam. Probably for super freaking cheap at this point.
Yeah, it's currently available for $12.99, but you can also get like a Star Wars prequel pack, which has like Bounty Hunter, Jedi Power Battles, and Star Wars Episode 1 Racer for like $71. And then there's one that it's like, oh, guess what? There's 25 games, but it's got everything, including like Starfighter, Battlefront 2, Republic Commando, Knights of the Old Republic, like all these other games, like 25 games, but it's like $300. And I'm like, holy shit, okay. So...
Look.
Chicken jockey.
She's back.
Chicken jockey.
Hey, how was walking the dogs?
Oh, good. It's nice weather outside. Gloomy, but not cold.
The perfect Dutch weather, if you will. Gloomy, but not cold.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good to have you back. I'm surprised that you were able to take your dogs out so quickly, because I'm used to people going away for a bit and then just like, oh yeah, I'm back 30 to 45 minutes later.
He's only one dog, and he's only small.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't even really like being outside that much, so...
Are there some times where he just gets too tired and you have to just pick him up and just carry him yourself?
Not yet, but it seems like it's getting to it. He sometimes takes like a long moment to just stand there.
So I don't have animals myself. I have 2 roommates that basically are feral. But no, I say that with love. But my friends, primarily, if they're going away, they'll ask me to house sit for them. And I've looked after cats. And at first I'm like, I don't know how to feel about cats. And then the first one that they had is like, oh, it's practically a dog in disguise. And I'm like, cool. I pet this one. It's fine. And then the second one, eventually, like a week later, just decides to headbutt me. And I'm like, oh, that means it trusts me. Okay, cool. I'm now one of them. And I think I prefer dogs. I think I prefer dogs.
What?
I think I prefer dogs because I'm an active person. If it wasn't for all the content creation, like let's say YouTube never existed and neither did Twitch, I would be way more active. I would be out on my skateboard. I would be running. I'd be walking around just doing stuff. And I think having a really active dog would have been good for me. Unfortunately, content creation fucking ruined me as a person. And now I the only time I'm active usually is when I'm at work, which is a lot of running anyway. So I 100% dig it, but I think I like the warm personality of dogs, like the energy of dogs, but at the same time, are some parts of cats where it's like, cool, I don't have to nurse you, or I don't have to be with you all the time, and you'll be fine. Just don't attack me when I try to pet you. So
Yeah, that's what I like about cats. Personally, I think dogs are a bit overbearing, which is fine when you're like, you're craving that attention and you just want someone to hang out with. And these little guys are like super cute and like super energetic and super happy all the time, right? But sometimes I just don't have the energy for that. And I wish I could just like, my cat is just my roommate that's chilling on the other side of the room and I'm chilling on this side of the room, and that's fine. And sometimes we look at each other and that's all the contact we need.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind me asking, would you consider yourself more of a introvert?
I would say I'm definitely an ambivert. I don't think I seek out like very active social situations, but when I am in them, I don't shy away from participating.
What would you describe as a ambivert? It's kind of like a mix between the two?
Yeah, I would say like I personally, I think the words introvert and extrovert are so like extreme because people have really extreme like mental images of those things, right? Like extroverts are they're like they're out there, they go out, they talk to random people, blah blah, this that, like they're always social. And then introverts, like they're shut-ins, they're in their homes, they don't like talking to people. Maybe interacting with like 1 or 2 people daily is fine, and they don't like going outside. And I think a lot of people fall in between that on a spectrum, so I think most people are ambiverts.
I think I'm probably somewhere along those lines because I am like sing in a rock band, I have to be on stage. I have to engage with all the people in the audience, which I do under those situations, as well as meeting people at conventions. You know, if I'm at a panel that I'm hosting, or if I'm just talking with people, I'm enjoying myself. But if you brought me to like a house party with a bunch of people that I don't know, I will 9 times out of 10 just say, you know what, this is too much for me. I'm going to grab like maybe 1 to 2 people, find a quiet-ish spot and talk their ear off. And
yeah, I'm hanging out with the dog in the corner type vibes.
Like you actually have a dog in the... oh, sorry. That's
like
sorry.
The dog is at the house party and you're hanging out with the dog. You don't, you don't know about this phenomenon?
I'm not 100%. I don't go to a lot of house parties primarily because I don't like the chaos. But like, yeah, I guess I am... There's a Tom Cardy song. He's like, everybody at the party has a job and mine is to pet that motherfucking party dog. So...
Yeah, that's me. I'm petting the party dog.
Yeah. So I'm.
But like dogs are extroverted creatures. They like to be surrounded by people all the fucking time. So like if I'm petting the dog, chances are I'm sitting in a circle of other people that are also petting the dog.
Yeah. So if you don't mind me asking, because you kind of sort of. Oop, that is my stream data. That is incorrect. That's not what I'm supposed to do. Whoop. Sorry, I got interested in, I was looking over metrics and things while you were gone. I'm like, okay, tell me about how this video is performing, and so on and so forth. If you don't mind me asking, you do a wide variety of content. I remember one of the videos that you did, which was like 6 hours long, and you spent a huge chunk of it just talking to your audience. How do you get the energy to just do these giant marathon sessions? Because there are some times where I'm like, I just can't do longer than 2 to 3 hours. I'm done.
I think that's a really good question. I'm just born to yap. I think that's what it comes down to. Most of my streams are, it's changed a little bit in the year of our Lord 2026, but from 2021 to 2025, those 4 years, all of my streams, basically, except on Wednesdays, except for the karaoke streams, are 6 hours to the second, right? Like, I used to not go over, I used to not go under, which I'm going to be honest, probably caused a little bit of burnout.
Yeah.
Probably also autism. And that all just kind of came crashing last year around this time. So now I'm a little bit less rigid, but all of my streams used to be 6 hours. And personally, I think that's, for me, a good amount of time for a stream, because then the first hour I have like allotted to talking to the chat about their day and like about all sorts of things, whatever they want to talk about, and then 4 hours to play the game / have lunch / just general stream content things. And then the last hour, like debriefing with chat and kind of sort of decompressing and I think of the streams a lot like concerts, and there's like the initial vibe check, and then the build up, and then the build down, right? So it's sort of semi like I want to because it's a job. It's sort of semi I want to because it's a nice structure for the stream. And it's sort of semi I want to because then I know that every one of my streams is going to be this way and I know what to expect.
I think for me, once again, like, so I've done conventions. I've hosted panels on like growing your YouTube channel. And I've also been on stage as a live musician. And the one thing I realized about myself is I've got a really solid hour-long set in me. But anything that goes past the hour mark, I will dial it back. And rather than being this incredibly like polished personality. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to be normal. And I have a hard time being able to maintain that energy. One of the people that we're going to be interviewing in a hop and a skip, I've watched their live streams and they are outrageously animated. But before being able to secure it, they said, "Oh, can we hop on a Discord call?" And I was able to actually legitimately just talk to them because they wanted to know more about the show. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh, you are a really different person when the camera's rolling on you." Oh shit. Okay, this is gonna be. How do you manage that? And so, I've always been that type of person where it's like, cool. I've got a decent hour in it me, but after that hour, I'm like, okay, I just want to be myself. I just want to let the curtain fall and let me just be mad on camera rather than SonicMTD all the time. And not everyone can do that. Can I ask you, you've been to a fair amount of conventions. I've seen photos of you enjoying yourself. What conventions do you primarily enjoy going to? Which ones do you go to? Like, would you be willing to go to again? Or which ones did you go to and you're just like, oh, this is an interesting vibe?
Well, like I said, I'm sort of, I don't seek out big social settings like that, so I have always been invited to conventions whenever I go, and I always go like a group of people or one person that I feel really comfortable with. So it's not like I seek that out, but I have been, and I've really enjoyed the more like anime or Japan focused sort of conventions. And that's partially because bigger conventions to me have sort of a weird, like, how do I say? I started going to conventions with like smaller conventions. So to me, that's sort of the vibe I expect. And then bigger conventions such as I've been to Dutch Comic Con and TwitchCon. Those are the two biggest conventions that I've been to. They have sort of this weird corporate vibe that is hard to get into as a convention goer, I think. Like as a professional event, it's probably a comfortable professional setting. Not that I would know because I haven't been to those as like a professional. I've only been as a con goer, and as a con goer, I definitely prefer like the smaller, like anime, like super subculture focused conventions. So I would sooner want or seek out to go to the smaller conventions, but I also know that I'm going to go to the upcoming TwitchCon again, you know, because it's I do want to engage with, you know, my job and my audience in real life if I can. And so I will be.
And to meet fellow you know, live streamers as well, possibly leading to friendships and collaborations.
Absolutely. I mean, last year I went with some friends. This year I'm hoping to meet some friends again. Actually, the most conventions I've been to, I've been with another VTuber called Moon Metal. She's also Dutch. And we went to Dutch Comic Con together, and we were together on a Vtuber panel at Kitsune Matsuri. So I'll most likely be meeting her again at TwitchCon, and who knows, maybe I will also be meeting other streamer friends that are from the area, or that are traveling specifically for the event.
If you don't mind me asking, have people recognized you at conventions, or do you have to say, oh, I'm going to be doing a meet and greet type of situation? Because I know that, you know, you went to, I think it was like TwitchCon Europe. I might be incorrect in regards to that, but we brought on Bipsy GG, who is also a VTuber, and she basically said, yeah, there are people that just knew who I was based solely on my hair. And I was wondering if people were able to recognize you based upon, you know, who you were as opposed to the character model, or having like proper signage going, oh, meet Purrito type of situation?
So no.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do have to say most of my audience is not in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's the chances of me and my audience both being at TwitchCon, both being in the same room at the same time are pretty slim, because over half of my viewership comes from the US, and then another large part of it comes from Asia as well. So it's a small chance, and I've not been recognized
Yet.
But I do tell people, like, hey, I'm gonna be at TwitchCon. Obviously, my picture is on Instagram, so like people can just go and see what I look like. I will say I do also change my look quite often.
Yes, you do.
So it might be hard to recognize me in real life. But I will say, if anyone's at TwitchCon, or if you think you see me out in the wild, don't be afraid to, like, say hi. I don't bite. I may look like I bite, but I don't.
Yeah. Once again,
what do you mean yet?
Yet. Well, you get familiar with the person, and then like a playful nibble here and there. Sorry, I'm just enjoying the vibe. Well, because I know that, I looked at your Instagram feed, and it showed you like having fun at conventions, meeting people, making friends, and things like that. And I'm like, oh, that's wonderful. I also know that I might be wrong in regards to this, but you have a Twitch follower, I think, called Landlady, who...
Yes.
You also have numbers tattooed on the back of your arm. Are those numbers related to Landlady, or...
They're not.
They're
okay,
not.
So Landlady is actually my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hi, Burrito's
like
mom!
My God,
like I said, she's heavily incorporated into the lore as like my because like quote unquote stray cat, and then she housed the stray cat, and she's still housing the stray cat. I'm literally living in her attic.
So she's the good witch.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah. That's my mom, and she's very active in the community. She's on Discord. She participates in stuff like media share and subathons, and she's on stream sometimes, and everybody knows her, and it's a tough balancing act sometimes, family life and streaming and her being active in the community. But at the end of the day, it's all fun. It's good. It's good time. It's a fun time, and it's a fun way to like involve her in the content creation part of my life.
I don't have any kids, but I know that if I had a son or daughter and they were a live streamer, I would be happy, but at the same time I would be concerned, because you don't know the type of people, you don't know the fan bases that can show up sometimes with these parasocial relationships between content creators and the fan base. There's a lot of situations where things have gone awry, like say at a TwitchCon between a content creator and their fan base. And I don't know as a parent how you properly balance that between someone who wants to be this personality, but also at the same time it's like, this is my daughter, this is my son, I want to protect them at the same time. So it's a tough, wild wiki wild west to deal with. So you have a tattoo on the back of your, I want to say, right arm, which are the numbers either 555 or 888. I couldn't get a good look, and
it is 555. Yeah, you're right.
I wanted to make sure, because I'm like, it's done in a certain font that I didn't 100% know, and I'm just like, okay, I need to know the backstory here, because sometimes people will get tattoos because it means something to them. Other times they'll just get tattoos because like, fuck it, it's my body, I want to treat it like a rental car, I'm gonna just write whatever I want and just go to town. So how do you, what tattoos do you got, and what are their significant meanings to you, if possible, if you do have any?
I have people would say I have a lot of tattoos.
Mhm.
I have one full sleeve on my right arm, which is I'm gonna be honest, mostly the scribblings of a teenager, but I vibe with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this traditional to geometric to watercolor flower sleeve, and it doesn't have too much meaning. I have like my first tattoo on my ankle, and it's like this little symbol that represents peace, love, and music. It's very cringe.
I mean, I think it's kind of cute. I haven't seen the tattoo, but like, as a musician,
I think it would have been cute if the tattoo was well executed.
Oh no, it doesn't. It didn't turn out well.
No, it's not good. But that's okay. You know, it was my first tattoo at like, what was I, like 15 or 16, and it was like the tattoo shop owner's wife that tattooed me. There was red flags everywhere.
Yeah.
I should have turned tail and ran. And then the 555 tattoo, I guess, has a little meaning because there's this whole like internet phase that everyone on like fucking internet had, where they had like angel numbers. Everyone's obsessed with angel numbers. But I thought they looked cool as a tattoo, so I just searched which one I vibe with, like as a sort of general theme in life, and got that tattooed because I just think it looks cool, and if I can relate to it, all the better. But I don't know. I just think it looks sick. But my most significant tattoo that I think has the most meaning is a Tamagotchi that I have on my left forearm, because during my, I don't remember if it was a second or third subathon, but the big goal, kind of as a joke goal, was that I would get a tattoo of Chat's choosing.
Oh no. That could be horrible. That could have turned out horrible.
Listen, it could have turned out horrible, and they had some interesting input during the voting phase. But my chat is always really sweet, and every time they do something that like involves my bodily autonomy, they really have me in mind always, which I really appreciate. Like the tattoo is a Tamagotchi. I'm obsessed with like 90s culture and like 90s technology. I think it's wonderful and crazy and stupid and adorable. So I'm really happy to have a tattoo commemorating it. One time they made me an omelet, and it was legitimately one of the best omelets I ever ate. My chat is really sweet with that sort of thing.
I only say this as someone who knows the internet and doesn't trust the internet. And since I don't trust the internet, I've seen a lot of contests where they're like, oh, we'll get the internet to vote on the next thing. And it's like, oh, design your own pizza with Delicio.com. And someone creates a plane of pepperoni crashing into the World Trade Center made out of mozzarella. And I'm like, no! Or they'll sit there and they'll be like, oh, design a Mountain Dew flavor, and I think it was either like Gush and Granny or Hitler did nothing wrong, and I'm just sitting there going like, why are we giving the internet a microphone? Why why did we decide this was a good idea? Why?
There was I think Burger King was doing something similar where they would ask the community to develop a new burger, and it was either Burger King or McDonald's. It was one of the two.
It was Burger King. I remember this. It was like a burger designing contest. Yeah, Pringles does this a lot too.
And you could like take different ingredients. Like some people would do like a silly thing where it's just all lettuce. That's all it was. But then people will start getting a little bit creative. Like, here's Pepe the frog, you know, the frog meme. And then there was one where it was called Mein Kampf.
Jesus.
There was another one called Girth, which was just a bunch of meat patties on top, in between two pieces of bread. And
that sounds awesome.
And there was one called Toddler in a Bag, which was exactly how you think it is. And then there was one where it was just mayo and some lettuce. It was like something surprise.
Ew.
Yeah. The musician part of me remembers when Taylor Swift had a contest where it's like, oh, send Taylor Swift to perform at, any.
Oh no.
Oh
No, it was like
yeah.
meet a fan. It was to meet a fan for Taylor Swift, and they let the internet decide, and it was some random dude that happened to like Taylor Swift,
Oh.
and of course this guy was just like no stereotypical nerd kind of guy. He's got some acne going on, and he won.
Oh, I think I seen this picture.
Like he won, and I think Taylor Swift's team was like, nah. We ain't doing that, no. And they just gave him like a check or something, and people were like, "Oh, come on, you cowards, all of you." But there was another one with who was it? It was not CeeLo Green. God, why did that?
No, so what I'm talking about is Taylor Swift had a contest where they would go to like they would say, oh, she would perform at any school that is available, right?
Yes, I know this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at an article from The Guardian, right? And the internet, primarily 4chan, found out about this and immediately hijacked the contest. Now, it was for a school, but the school that won was the Horace Mann School for the Deaf.
She's just got to check.
It was a school
Honestly,
in Boston.
Get that bag.
There was it was Pitbull, same sort of thing, but instead of a school, it would be a Walmart for some odd reason. And they were
at the Walmart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dream come true.
So they chose the most remote Walmart that you could possibly go to
in Alaska,
in Kodiak, Alaska. And he was like, you know what? I'm doing it. He went there. The best thing.
I mean, yeah, I should hope so. You gotta like, it wouldn't have been a fun sub goal if I wouldn't have gotten the tattoo. Like if they gotten me a shitty tattoo, I can pull up like the picture that are where with the tattoo concepts if I can find it. But even if they had gotten me like a shitty one, it would have been shitty of me to not get it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have still gotten it.
You gotta when they put out the crazy into the world, sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. But there are a lot of times where I'm just like, I know the internet. I'm on the internet. I don't trust me. I won't trust you. So I dig that. If you don't mind me asking, because you do a wide variety of streams, from like just chatting to you're playing Silksong, what type of games do you enjoy? And what kind of games would you always play even if you weren't streaming? Like what are your favorites that you default to?
Okay, so nobody's asked me I get this question a lot, but never like this. What would I play if I wasn't streaming?
Yes.
And this is gonna sound so childish, but I am a early 2000s kid after all, and I love platformers.
Oh yeah?
I love platformers. I love Crash Bandicoot and fucking Kingdom Hearts and I love platformers, and if it's a Metroidvania, even better, because then I can fucking mold over it too. Like, I just love jumping from my silly little place to my other silly little place, and then if there's like some sort of epic death battle in between that's cool too. I like that too.
What kind of platformers would you recommend? Because I'm someone who's sort of like out of sorts with platformers, because I played Super Mario 64 and I'm like, this is peak.
I mean, Super Mario 64 has like the hard game factor, I would say, where sometimes you have to be pixel perfect for stuff, and that's exactly the type of platformer I would recommend is the hard game variety, such as say Hollow Knight or Hollow Knight Silk Song or what's that? Cuphead. Cuphead is really good. But if it depends whether do you like hard games or do you like puzzle games, because puzzle platformers are oftentimes really fun and like super engaging.
I think for me, it really kind of depends on, because when I play video games, usually 9 times out of 10, I'm a story guy, right? Like I go because I want to find a story that really touches me and moves me, and then afterwards, if I decide to play it again, it's the gameplay that keeps me coming back. So I don't really have much in terms of platformers that I would play, but like I've played The Evil Within 2 like it's going out of style. I'm currently playing Resident Evil Requiem, but I don't know if I'm going to play it once I finish the story mode. It's kind of a game where it's like, I can't play this off camera. I need to play this on camera, because if I play it off camera, everyone in the chat is going to be wondering, where the fuck are you, Matt?
Yeah.
But like, have you ever played Hi-Fi Rush?
I have not.
It is single-handedly one of the games that, like, I will always, if I'm feeling down and out, I will pick up that game because it is Matthew coded. It is the game that was made for me, and I'm like, I could beat this entire thing in a 10-hour sitting if I wanted to, but I just want to go back and play all the songs and just enjoying both the platforming and the action sections in the game that make it a really fun experience.
Yeah. I've been wanting to play this game. I have so many games on my backlog, honestly. I've been wanting to play this games, but if you like story-heavy platformers, I can definitely... So there's platformers that are very story, like lore-heavy, where you have to like walk past and read and find the lore. And if that's what you like, I would suggest Hollow Knight, because it has a lot of that. It's huge, and Silk Song is twice as big. But if you like just experiencing the lore, I would say the Ori games, Ori and the Blind Forest or Ori and the Will of the Wisps, are both really good. I think there's a puzzle platformer that I really like called Fez, which basically forces you to experience the lore. So I can definitely,
Fez?
I mean, I can definitely give you more. Yeah, Fez, as in the little red hat.
F-E-Z. I'm familiar with that.
I know the IRL backstory behind that. Well, the creator.
What's the IRL?
Yeah.
What's going on with Fez?
Well, there was supposed to be a sequel,
Yes.
Oh.
and the creator, he was on this, I guess, video game documentary, and I think all of his sections in that was like.
Is this like the game was so highly anticipated that he stopped making it?
No, he got he tweeted out something on Twitter, and this was when he tweeted.
Yeah,
he
here
tweeted
we
something
go.
like that. It wasn't like what he said precisely. There used to be a website called Game Trailers, and on the site Game Trailers, there was this guy called Marcus Beard, and he was British, so he was very posh a little bit. I don't know exactly what he said, but he said something and it pissed him off, and literally like a day, like maybe a few hours after he posted his response to the creator came out and says, "All right, Fez 2 is canceled. Go fuck yourselves."
What? Damn.
And I was like, really? Really? One dude gets you to cancel a highly anticipated game. All right,
There's gotta be more to it. There's gotta be more to it. That sounds like a whole behind the scenes drama with this guy.
I think it was literally, I don't know if there was anything else going on, but literally it happened right after this dude's response. And the guy who, Marcus Beard, he went on to his podcast and talked about it, and because people were pissed off at him. They're like, why didn't you just keep your damn mouth shut? Now we can't get this game anymore.
That's crazy. Fez 2 could have happened.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good game.
If
you like silly games, Oh, no, go ahead.
No, because you were bringing up platformers and silly games as well. Have you played Guacamelee?
No, no, that sounds great though.
I gotta show it to you. It's a Metroidvania where basically you are a farmer or whatever who's trying to woo a girl, but just as you're about to woo her, some demons show up, they kill you, and you have the ability to jump between the land of the living and the dead. And you're using like an ancient Mexican wrestler lucha libre mask, the powers of it to defeat these evil demons and win back your love and save her from the undead influence. And I'm just sitting there going like, this would probably be a good Metroidvania to recommend to you because you like a mix of silly and as well as just genuinely funny. I would recommend that to you. But you were also mentioning about possible silly games.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. Fuck.
Somewhere over the rainbow. We can keep going at least. What are those sound effects?
Those the automatons. I accidentally clicked that one.
From Helldivers?
I accidentally clicked that one.
Yeah, from Helldivers.
So, if you don't mind
That
me
is
asking,
not a silly game.
I mean,
Yes.
Oh, it can be.
it could
It
be a
can
silly
be.
game, depending on who you play with. But if you don't mind me asking, where do you see your channel sort of going and splintering and diverging off into? Like, where do you see yourself growing or heading towards as a creator? Or where are you trying to go towards?
I mean, that is a loaded question. I mean, obviously, just like every other content creator, I am hoping to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, that's a lot of work that people don't see.
Mhm.
Right? Like, there's a lot of behind the scenes involved in content creation that I don't currently have like the stability to provide for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now I'm in a comfortable place with the amount of content I create and the type of content I create, but I hope to in the future, if I can and if I have the space to make even larger variety of content. I want to incorporate more VR into my content, and I want like the space to do more IRL as well. But that's just gonna take time and build up. Unless I pop off overnight and make like $10,000 overnight, it's just gonna be like just a slow build up, just a slow creep, just the way that it's supposed to.
So, Purrito, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
You say you never collabed with anyone before.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I have collabed. It's just very rare.
Okay, correction. You rarely collab with people.
Damn, I thought this was an exclusive.
Exclusive. Do you see yourself like maybe playing like collab games with other people? Like, have you ever done that, or is there a game that you want to play with people but you just don't have the people to do it, or you're like, I don't want to bother them, or something like that?
So I do like playing party games or like friend slop, on stream with friends, not necessarily in the collab setting where everyone's streaming, but more casually, like maybe they're streaming, maybe not. I'm streaming and it's not like a big deal. And obviously I'm surprised this hasn't been brought up, but I have done music collabs with like that was specifically more like content and branding focused.
Burrito
I
X Sonic collab.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I'm doing musically. Someone just hands me the music and I'm like, okay, I can write lyrics, I can write melody, let's go to town. But yeah, I'm always down to do a collab. I just don't know how to do a music one, but sure, I'm down for it.
I mean, music collabs, like, wise, what's also what I like to do is sign up for, like, big concerts and stuff like that. I did one last Christmas as well. But I think I like the way that I do collabs in less of like a collab culture / professional collab setting and more like, you know, either I sign up for like a big event thing, or I'm just doing like small collabs with friends, or somebody brings me a project and they say, hey, I think you would slap on this project. Do you want to work on it? And then, you know, I decide like, do I have the time and capacity, and do I want to, and do I like this person? But I really don't like the collab culture of like just seeking out people with like similar audiences and then not getting to know them and just like streaming together. That's not really my thing.
Well, I would like to formally invite you to playing a game with me and Sonic whenever in the future. And it can be on stream or off stream, called Abiotic Factor.
Oh God. Okay.
Or Subnautica 2.
Subnautica's scary.
All right, mainly Abiotic Factor then.
Abiotic Factor is fun.
What is this?
So Abiotic
I'm watching
Factor,
the trailer right now.
It's how me and Wrath. Well, we met on another server, but Wrath came up to me and said, "Hey, do you want to play a game together?" And me, who isn't used to, you know, hanging out with people in Discord, is just like, sure, why the F not? And through playing the game, I'm like, oh, this is fun. I don't want to murder Wrath right now. Okay. And through bonding in that game, that's how we eventually started the podcast. Because Wrath just looked at me and said, oh, you do YouTube? And I'm like, yes. Do you want to do a podcast episode together? Sure, on what? Let's talk about video games. And then it turned into, hey, I can get VTubers. And I'm like, what do you mean get VTubers? What are you talking about?
I can get VTubers. I can procure the VTubers.
Like, yeah, by dragging them over here.
I mean, that's how I got here, so.
It was like, don't worry about the pain in the back of your head, Purrito. That will go away.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it will.
But yeah, just through being able to play, that turned into this podcast. And so I'm just always down to just meet new people, pick their brain, figure out about them. And, you know, if it turns out to be something in the future, cool. If it doesn't, I'm just glad to be able to just meet new people.
Streaming, like content creation in general, is great for meeting people. I really like the rating features, what was the fucking stream shelf for like display features that Twitch used to have? I really like that too. It is great for like making friends and strengthening bonds, and just like online like gaming / streaming culture in general is a great way to make friends. I agree. Although, and I'm not opposed to playing this silly looking game with you guys. The vibes are right.
Yeah, it is a dope game. There were some times in the very beginning with me and Wrath playing Abiotic Factor where I'm like, I am going to murder this guy. But then it reached a point where both Wrath and I became so overpowered towards the end that we're just like, it doesn't matter what damage I do to him, he's just going to gain it back in like about 5 seconds. At this point, I'm attacking him with the equivalent of a toothpick. It's like, why don't you die?
It got to the point where he's like off like he will do something and he's like far away and he can hear this.
Good morning, children!
It's not ominous at all.
No. I'm surprised we haven't encountered that enemy yet. Because I'm like sitting there going like, okay, this is probably a boss creature. And
I think it's just some crazy woman just on the mic. Because she also does this.
Good evening, everyone!
Crazy women on the mic couldn't be me. Don't follow VTubers, chat. They'll ruin your life.
Should I be concerned, Purrito?
Everyone that's ever watched a VTuber should be concerned.
I am very concerned now.
I watch a lot of VTubers, so I must be concerned as well.
So,
if you weren't concerned already, then yeah, I would start.
So I did some research onto what the definition of burrito means. And according to the internet, a burrito is when you wrap a cat in a blanket, which apparently calms it.
I don't know about that. I mean,
I know it keeps them from moving.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
So a burrito,
No, that is correct. That is the definition of a burrito. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a.
So we need an otter burrito.
We need an otter burrito. So either it's to calm a cat, or secretly you enjoy eating cats. And I don't know which one it is, but in the event it's the latter rather than the former, how could you? You're a monster.
Monster frisbee.
Listen, how can you? First of all, is this stream PG or can I be out of pocket?
You can be out of pocket.
Okay, first of all, how can you not enjoy eating pussy?
Hi-oh!
Second of all,
dang it! I don't have that on standby.
See, now I get worried if I decide to ask if you want to go grab hot dogs sometimes.
Hey yo!
Hey yo!
Take me to dinner first. No, the username. Thank you. The username kind of just came about because when I was in America, I discovered that I really like burritos. Like, I already was familiar with my love for like dough pockets containing delicious meats and the likes.
Mm-hmm.
But then I spent some time in America. I found out I really, 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 really like burritos.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't obvious from the incorporation of burritos into my lore.
Mm-hmm.
And so the person I was seeing at the time suggested that I should go by the name of breakfast burrito. For that very reason.
Do you not have burritos in the Netherlands, or is this just you were away from it?
Listen, Mexican food is hard to come by in Europe.
I mean, legit, that makes sense. I would assume that like the influence of Spain possibly would have some kind of crossover as well, but no, yeah.
Literally, absolutely none. Do you know what Dutch people got from Spain? Paella. I fucking hate paella.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Spanish people.
So like,
I do not vibe with paella.
one of the joys of being in a place like Canada is that we are a cultural mixing pot. There are so many different wonderful cultures and cuisines that have come over here. Everything from like, you know, my love of Japanese food to going out and getting like burritos. When we were talking a little while ago, I had brought up Asian fusion, and they created a sushi burrito. And it is the beautiful homunculus that is, hey, what if we made a giant sushi roll in the form of a burrito? And like, it is just as like, I want to send a photo over to you. Give me a second.
Please do. I'm imagining something like a hand roll or like a onigiri.
I mean, it would be close to a giant hand roll, but give me a second. Mojito sushi. So there's this group that's called Mojito, and they make sushi burritos, and no one, like next to no one that I know, makes something that's even remotely close. So give me a second.
I'm highly anticipating this. This is making me feel the same way. This is making me feel the opposite way of how I felt when I first heard about the sushi pizza.
The sushi pizza is an abomination.
Thank you. Yes, it is.
As someone who is half Italian on my dad's side, I looked at the sushi pizza and I'm like, this is revenge for the atomic bomb, isn't it? Like, you guys haven't been nuked enough with this.
God
We-
damn, that is a statement for sure.
That's
I'm
not
looking at- I-
that's not
I'm
gonna get
looking at
clipped out of
this.
context. Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and part of me wants to try it, while another part of me is like screaming out, "Why? Why does it look like a burrito? Why does it need to be burrito shaped?"
I think I would really love this. I think it's kind of giving spam musubi.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, for me, there are some things in, like when I go to Mojito, which is the company
Because
that
it looks
makes
like I
this.
have to eat the paper in order to put everything
No,
together.
so I'll explain it. So you're like, it's like a traditional burrito, which burritos primarily are covered in wrapping paper, and you tear it off and you eat
Mhm.
as you go down. So
So,
it's in the same
normally-
theory.
Normally for sushi, it's either wrapped in seaweed. So is it like a huge seaweed wrap, or is it literally in a freaking tortilla?
So
It seems that it's wrapped in seaweed twice. I
Yes.
think there's an outer layer of seaweed containing the rice, and then there's an inner layer of seaweed containing the fillings.
yes. So
Okay.
it's protected by a giant seaweed wrap. But the thing that you don't see, because once again, I've had these things. Outside of the seaweed wrap is the paper wrap. So you rip the paper wrap and you tear that down, but you still have the seaweed that's keeping it all together. But you don't want to completely remove the paper wrap. You don't want to, because there is one section where there is no sushi wrap around it. Like, it is quite honestly like a small little thing of just rice. So the paper wrap prevents it from all falling apart. So you're kind of just eating as you go along until you get to the part at the end where you're like, all right, I have no choice but to take the wrapping paper off. And when you take the wrapping paper off, it can get a little bit messy, but it's still actually really, really dope.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
need
But
a
it's just
lot
like
of
a
veal
regular
sauce.
burrito, right? You just gotta fucking fight time and gravity, stuff it in your face.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Fell Keeper says, unless you got it fried. Which
True.
a fried burrito? Sorry, a fried sushi burrito? That would be a weird situation.
Like a
do you like-
tempura batter fry.
Oh,
I've eaten quote unquote fried
that'd be cool.
fried sushi before, and it's actually pretty good. Honest.
I mean, I've had so they have these like crunch rolls, I guess they call them at the place where I get my sushi. It's basically just a roll, and they batter it and fry it. It's like, I think it's panko that they batter it in.
Yeah, panko.
So it's not batter, it's
Panko.
breading. But yeah, it is good. It is delicious. It is crunchy.
I genuinely love like the deep fried katsu cutlets or whatever. And I eventually, there was like a brief period, I think it was during the pandemic, where I just said, fuck it, let's make our own from scratch. And I enjoyed it, but it also was very time sensitive, and it was also very messy, because like you had one thing where it's just like, oh, you have flour, then you have eggs, and then you put the panko breadcrumbs over top of it.
You didn't have your breading station set up right, is what I'm hearing.
I'm going off of what my memory is. It's been a while since I've done it. Probably the breading station was wrong. But like, I was legitimately enjoying it, but it did take time, effort, and cleanup. And I'm the type of person where, once again, if it wasn't for content creation, I'd probably be more outgoing. I'd probably be more patient. But like, I'm like, hey, I want something that takes a maximum of 45 minutes to prepare. Anything longer than that is crazy. I need to get
I hear
it in.
this a lot.
Yeah.
I cook with a crock pot, so I'm used to long cooking
Based.
periods. In fact, I have a meal in there right now, and I've been letting it stew in there for a little bit longer. It's basically a chuck roast with chicken breasts, onions, potatoes, and mushrooms in beef broth with that onion soup mix in there as well, and of course a bunch of seasoning.
Dude, hell yeah, my mouth is watering.
I know. This is the problem. We get hungry as this thing goes along.
That is call it like my survival stew because it's just protein packed of meat, and it tastes so good. I even got that MSG salt in there as well, which really brings it out.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me,
No, that sounds awesome.
For me, the major concern that happens when you cook something that takes a while is that I get hungry while I'm making it, and that frustrates me because, like, I can get borderline hangry depending on what's going on.
You're like, shut up! Let me eat!
Well, it's like I'll be sitting there and I'm like, my roommates will come in and be like, Matt, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm grabbing a snack while I'm making food because if I don't, I'm going to murder something.
That's when you snack on the ingredients, right? Like, you're making, like, some with tomatoes, get an extra tomato to snack on.
But, like, I would make something, and if it was in something like, for example, a slow cooker, the rest of the house will smell like that food. And
Good.
Yeah, so if you are making something and you're just sitting there and it's like the entirety of my house smells like fresh pasta, and I can't take it anymore. It's only a matter of time before I snap and I'm like, I need to go outside the house. I need to get food. I need to get something else because the sheer aspect of waiting for food to
the anticipation of the food is what gets you riled up.
Yeah.
Priya, what would be your favorite fast? Well, yeah, go ahead and include it. Restaurant that you would like to go and eat out on the normal.
Oh man, well, I hate to say it, but I really just like ordering a double quarter pounder from the McDonald's.
Oh no!
To be fair, fast food options in the Netherlands feel
very
quite
different.
limited after having experienced like abundance of fast food options in the States.
But I'll say
if
one
I
thing.
could,
Keep going. Keep going. Finish your point.
I was gonna say, if I could choose one fast food location to go to every day, it's fucking Renee's in Wichita, Kansas. Renee's, I love you. Please open a location in the Netherlands. They are a Mexican food place, and I got my breakfast burritos there, and they have the salsa. Oh my god.
So one thing I'm going to recommend to you, if I don't show up in the Netherlands, we gotta have a day where we just say, fuck it, we're making burritos at your place. Go out.
I'm so down.
Get some rice, get some pinto or black beans. We'll go get some salsa. They like to find the individual ingredients shouldn't be difficult to grab. It's just you don't have any restaurants available in the Netherlands to make it for you. But I'm pretty sure.
I can't pig out at 3 a.m. on a fucking California style breakfast burrito. You know, like it's not here. It's not gonna happen.
Also, hi, Briar Thorn VR. So this is a podcast where we get to interview some awesome VTubers and content creators, and today we are interviewing the wonderful, the magnanimous PurritoVT. So, why the porn music?
Huh?
Why the porn music? What did you have to like? Why?
It was either that or which one
I
was
am
it?
not
That was
macking on Purrito here. I am trying to have a conversation.
Bro found the P-Hub button and is straight stimming right now.
No, that's not the P-Hub button. It's there is a P-Hub button I can find.
Oh, for fuck's sakes. I wanted to have
please don't find it.
I found
two of them.
I've wanted to have a wholesome stream, but Wrath saw wholesome and said some holes. And now I'm concerned. So
that's crazy.
But yeah, I am just sort of vibing out, enjoying. Does anyone in the chat have what is with all okay, I know that sound effect. Does anyone in the chat have any questions that they want to ask Purrito? Now is the time because I am running out of things to ask and I'm just enjoying the time that I am experiencing. So if anybody wants to bring anything, go
Aw.
ahead. Wrath, do you have any questions that you want to ask?
Yes. You plan on going full VR in the future, like full 3D?
So currently I feel like my setup is a little bit chunky, bulky for that. So I want to say probably not in the next 2 years, but maybe in 5 years. I want to say it's not in the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I want to broaden the scope of the type of content creation I make, and I do already sometimes make VR content. I have a Valve Index, which is part of the reason why I don't do VR content, by the way. It's fucking heavy as shit. Oh my god.
Those things look bulky.
Now, it's like having a bag of flour strapped to your face. It's very heavy. And then
Jesus.
I also have like the trackers, but I have the old trackers, so they're like tall and wide and heavy. So with my current setup, no, but in the future it's something that I am interested in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm hearing screaming from the other room. Part of me is curious. Another part of me knows do not leave your bedroom. Whatever you do not leave the bedroom.
So it's normally like 3 types of screaming. It's screaming for joy, screaming in anger and or pain, and one that you should not open that door no matter what, because it's probably someone having a good time. Possibly.
So I'm thinking it's more the second rather than the first or the third. And not in pain. I'm hearing enraged screaming. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to enjoy the vibe. And in case anything happens, I got to get myself a Leon Kennedy hatchet. I got to become the himbo dad. I need to become the himbo dad that everybody expects me to be.
Burrito, have you played Resident Evil yet? The new one?
I have not, but I have seen many a clip of, let's say their cosmetics mods for Leon.
It's just it still amazes me. Within 48 hours, someone had already made a shirtless Leon mod.
Listen, there was shirtless Leon, there was fucking tramp stamp Leon, there was maid outfit Leon, there was like there's a lot of Leon cosmetics.
Like no one really got swooped in when Resident Evil 4 came out for Leon. It was more like, he's like, the edgy kid, whatever, whatnot. And then when some of the animated movies came out, it was still like, oh yeah, it's Leon, he kicks ass, one-liners, whatnot. And then the remakes is like, oh, he's like, back to square one, but we still love him. But for some reason, this one, Daddy Leon has destroyed the internet so hard.
Listen to me. It's the way that his shirt was literally just a texture on his model. They did not model him a shirt. They just painted a texture on the character model for the shirt.
I was like, man, people are thirsting for Daddy Leon, and even the voice actor was like, did reactions. He did like reactions to some of the mods, and they were like, what? What?
I'll say this as someone who has corrupted heterosexuality. Leon S. Kennedy would. I would.
Listen,
I'm just saying, the guy is...
Where I come from, we call this closeted bisexuality, but go off, King.
Yeah. Well, whether it is bisexuality, pansexuality, or...
Heteroflexible.
Heteroflexible, or somewhere in between. Yeah.
That's the term I use. Is like, hey, it's only for very specific individuals that pique my interest. All right.
This feels like this feels like bi erasure, but
well, if you break down sexuality, it's a game of Twister. So saying that you're heteroflexible just really means that you're really good at Twister.
Maybe I do that I do that for the lulls. I do that. I just say that's like, hey.
But
it's just a ridiculous statement. It's like, hey, yeah, I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's the point.
I love it. I love it. I'm gonna use heteroflexible to describe some very specific people now.
Fellkeeper wanted to ask, why is it called an oven? I
believe it's because you in the hot food cold.
Because in the hot food cold. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
According to the internet, give me a second. Oven comes from Old English word often and Proto-Germanic word oubliette, which refers to a heated enclosed space used for baking or heating.
Oubliettes. You know that literally means forgetty thingies in French.
Forgetty thingies?
Forgetty thingy, yeah. You just put like your food there and then you forget about it.
Oh, okay. It traces back to the Latin word furnace, which means furnace or hearth. So I learned something exciting and new, as well as we're also being asked, Fellkeeper asked, when can we hope to see more COM content?
Yes, my chat loves to ask me this. So COM is Chain of Memories. That is officially the second game in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. And it was supposed to be the sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1. Except that the gameplay is entirely different. The entire concept for the gameplay is different. It's a deck builder sort of rock'em sock'em deck builder. I don't know how to explain it. It's not a good game.
Okay.
It's extremely grindy. It's very long, and I will never finish it. I'm just about to be halfway the game. And I thought I had finished it, and I was told this was halfway. So I'm never gonna finish it. I hate this game, and we're just gonna watch the cinematic online.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Kingdom Hearts has like some sort of weird place in my gaming memory. Like I never played them, but I knew a friend that played them a lot, and I used to watch him play. Played the first one. Played the second one. And then there was that whole, we waiting over like 10 years for the fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. And then, in beforehand, we get 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.5, 2.8. And at that point, I'm like, just release the damn sequel.
Yep.
What are we doing?
So my relation... Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there's a lot of games and the whole thing is very lore heavy, and none of the main lore is in the mainline games.
Freaking Leonard Nimoy dropped dead before this series was completed. God, I was like, God, because he couldn't wait anymore. He's like, that's it, I'm gone, I'm out, bury me, I can't do this anymore.
Was Leonard Nimoy in the Kingdom Hearts games?
Yeah, he played the main bad guy.
Oh, did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
So my relationship with Kingdom Hearts is a very odd one in the sense of I did not give a fuck about the fandom or anything. I did not play the first game. I didn't play any of the attachment games. I only played the second game. And I picked up the second game. I played through it and I'm like, this is a fine game. I don't have to learn anything more. It worked as its own. It's standalone. Sora is on a quest to win back his boyfriend while
it's so real.
While what's her face sits in the cuck chair. And the entirety of the time of me playing through it, I'm just sitting there going like, I feel like the people who wrote this game just did a fuck ton of cocaine, because they're like blending through Final Fantasy with Disney characters, and no one is questioning this. And I'm like, is everything okay? Fuck it, we ball. And by the end,
Listen, I feel
Mickey
like
Mouse
Kingdom
is like,
Hearts.
oh,
Kingdom Hearts is literally just like my VTuber lore times 10, like the size of it. Because I'm genuinely convinced that they just wanted to combine Final Fantasy and Disney somehow, and they were like, all right, we need some sort of staple. We need like a stitching agent, and then they came up with Sora and Riku and Kairi, and they're like, oh, well, we'll see from here.
I mean, this
like
is
Mickey
how we get
Mouse is
Super
like-
Smash Brothers. This is how we get Super Smash Brothers.
I mean, to be honest, Priya, have you seen the new Mario movie?
No, I have not. I am gonna be honest, I do not go to video game movies because the Minecraft movies are very, like, I feel like marketed towards kids, and then some of the like more adult video game movies are very marketed towards normies for some reason. It's, in my opinion, very rare to find a video game movie that I would pay to go see.
Because I know they're making another Resident Evil movie, and this one is being directed by the guy who directed Weapons. Have you ever seen that one?
I have seen Weapons.
So the trailer's already out for it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm on board for this. But granted, there's a couple of things I'm like very questioning the hell out of, but I'm like, I'm for it. I want to see what goes on. I don't care if there's a random 600 pound pale bald dude in the sewers.
Okay, so I did see the Resident Evil movie, the original one. I'm pretty sure I did.
With Mila Jovovich.
Did I see Afterlife 2? I think as well. But yeah, no, those are good. Those are good movies. I don't hate those.
I watched almost every single Resident Evil movie with the exception of the first one and the one that involved Leon S. Kennedy. The one I've watched almost all of the ones with Mila Jovovich, but like those movies are very loosely based upon the game, to the point where there was one I remember where it takes place in sort of like a post-apocalyptic world, and Mila Jovovich has the ability to orgasm land and like uses uses telekinetic abilities to like throw the parts of the earth that she's grabbing at opponents, which then she never uses ever again outside of that movie.
Dude, what is she, Blade?
Pretty much, and she has
Like, she
clones
had,
of herself.
Yeah, there's clones, and then the next movie they get rid of the clones. Very like three is like literally like the whole world has ended because apparently the virus destroys also plant life, and everything is a desert. Everybody, like, she finally uses her telekinetic powers, and then she finds a facility, breaks into it, and it turns out she's just one of many clones.
Yeah.
And so there's literally an army of clones, and then the next movie comes out and they just straight up kill off all the clones. Every single clone. No more clones. And I'm like, so we immediately pulled that plot point up and then immediately shot it back down. Okay, got it. Awesome.
Like, they're
Just
playing so fast and loose with the continuity of these movies alone. Like, at first it started off as like, okay, somewhat Resident Evil adjacent, and then it just became completely ass end over tea kettle. And I remember watching a movie, I think it was like the final movie, where they're like, you have 20 minutes to stop this virus from being uploaded, otherwise all of the zombies will oh sorry, she has to release an antivirus that'll kill off all of the zombie stuff, and she has like 20 minutes to get it done. There's like a timer that's going off in the background, and she has to do it, otherwise all the T-virus zombies will attack the last encampments of humanity and civilization. And I'm sitting there in the movie, and I'm like, Siri, set a timer for 20 minutes, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the movie, and I've got the timer on my phone, and I'm looking back at the movie, back at my phone, back forth, and then eventually I'm like, all of those people would be dead because this is the longest 20 minutes I've ever seen on fucking screen ever before.
There was one, like the very last one, they sort of like nerf Wesker super hard. Like, it's like, dude, you literally have Neo powers at this point. So how did that person get the drop on you? Seriously. And like they start dropping in, the main franchise characters, like, Jill shows up in 2, and of course periodically shows up. Chris shows up, and I think they never used him again. Leon and Ada show up, and then apparently were killed off screen in the next movie. And then Barry Burton shows up, which, I like the actor who played him, and I was like, yeah, you played good Barry. And then immediately kill him. And I'm like, so who do we have left that we have not killed off yet? Rebecca? We haven't used Rebecca yet.
I mean, once again,
I might have to do a little Resident Evil movie marathon then before the next one comes out, because I need to catch up on all of this.
Because
all of this, I don't have a word for this, but
they're so bad it's good.
It's so bad. Then there was the one that came out a few years later called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. And that one, while it does not go in the crazy ass direction that the other ones went into, it hurt me physically. It physically hurt me because it was trying to do Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2 at the exact same time. All right? And I'm like, why can't we just do Resident Evil 1 with, decent characters, but we're trying to...
It's a fusion food. They were trying to do sushi burritos.
Yeah.
Like they already established that there's like barely any people left in the city because of like economics and something like that. And they immediately say, oh yeah, you are the only law enforcement left in the entire city. There's some bullshit going down in the mountains, so half of you are going to go here, and the other half is just going to stay here. So they literally do, like, they speed run Resident Evil 1 like super quick and then fuck off back to the city. I'm like, what is this?
I mean, truth be told, there isn't much of a story in the first game.
And and of course Wesker's in it, and they try to make him into almost like a pseudo anti-hero at the end, and I'm like, what is going on? What a good who gave the director lots of weed and told him to play all the Resident Evil movies. Play all the Resident Evil games, because that is not my Wesker right there. He is a piece of shit at the very beginning, but they were like he was like pointing his gun at some kid during the movie. He's like, I was never gonna shoot you, kid, while he's dying. I was like, what? What
the fuck?
Like, what?
So I'll bring up from the chat, community jokes aside, question for everyone. This is from Fellkeeper. If you had the chance to re-experience a game for the first time, what would it be and why?
Man, re-experience a game? I gotta give that to Kingdom Hearts again. I know I've spent the last like half hour talk about Kingdom Hearts. I feel like I spent a lot of my life talking about this game. But it's a big part of my childhood. It's a very beautiful game, and I got to experience most of it for the first time recently, because as a kid I never got like past the Hercules level. I didn't know you could just skip that. I didn't know it was optional. So I got to experience like 2/3 of the game for the first time, and it's a horrible game, and the controls are terrible, and the camera is fucking terrible, and like just everything about like it's not fun to play, but it is absolutely my childhood. And if I could get to experience that again in the way that I experienced it back then, in the like the magic of seeing like the Disney stained glass like princess platform for the first time, or like the choice between between the different like paths, like skills if you will, and like the banter between all of the characters. I would love to experience that again for the first time if I could. But I feel like that's a really sappy answer, because it's like, of course I would like to re-experience this as my childhood game.
What about you, Wrath? Wrath? Oh God, what happened to Wrath?
Oh no, we lost him just
We
like
lost
his cat.
Wrath.
Oh my God. Oh, it's just like that cat.
It's just like going to war. Not everyone makes it to the end, but we're glad that you're part of it.
Look to your left, look to your right. One of you isn't gonna make it.
Well, on that happy note, Purrito, I'm now hiring for a new co-host of my podcast. Want to join?
I don't know. Do I qualify? Am I good at it?
You like burritos? Good enough.
Oh, that's so real.
Wrath, you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Did you want me to re-ask you the question, or do you want me to...
Good. What was the question?
The question is, if you had the chance to re-experience a game for the first time, what would it be and why?
Fuck, that's going to be a good one. I got to think which game. That would be the game that I want to re-experience. Would be Spec Ops: The Line. That would be a game that I want to re-experience again.
So,
of course, this game, Burrito, is probably too much for your wholesome heart, to be honest.
the fuck?
Why?
You don't know her. Bitch, you don't know me. No, sorry.
The fact that you are literally playing a video game version of Heart of Darkness, or in this case, what was that movie that basically became
I know which Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. Basically a video game version of Apocalypse Now. And you're just going through it, and I want to re-experience the white phosphorus scene.
Jesus.
Again.
So,
Because when I first played that, I did not know that they were gonna pull that shocker right there in front of me.
Shocker, I hardly know her.
hi-oh.
GG.
Very, very briefly, for those that aren't aware, Spec Ops: The Line is a third-person shooter that takes place in Dubai, India. However, it's undergoing apocalyptic situations as roaming dust storms have pretty much destroyed the city, turning it into a barren wasteland. I think you're a character called Marshall Walker. I might be incorrect, but you and two of your fellow American sidekicks are brought in to rescue survivors and to relieve a previous American commando unit. And as you wander in, you realize that as people were getting desperate, the American squad you're there to relieve kind of went insane. And at one point in the game, you commit a war crime by launching white phosphorus over what you think is the enemy, but is actually a camp of survivors. And yeah, and so
And the game forces you to walk through that entire thing while people off to the side are like screaming in agony.
dying
And you come up to one soldier, and he like literally looks at you and says, "Why?" He's like, "You brought it onto yourself." And he points off. He's like, "We were helping." And you look, and their character looks off to the right, and there's literally like in the middle of all these burned bodies is like a mother holding her small child, covering her eyes, and she's like half melted.
Yep. It is a game that feels generic at first, but once you get to that white phosphorus scene, it immediately starts playing with your character's mind, and you realize as a person, it's like, oh, my character is now going insane from the crazy war crime thing that he just committed because he thought he was the good guy. And, oh, I can't trust anything that's going to happen narrative-wise. Is it actually happening? Or is this all in the crumbling psyche of your character's head?
There's like a point after that where you knock over one of the enemy soldiers, and he turns into one of your friends, and he's literally talking to you like, hey, what the F are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like in a slow motion where it's like, do I shoot him or do I not? What's happening here?
Yeah. So
okay,
it's a great game narrative wise. The graphics are kind of janky. Like the graphics kind of feel like it's an outdated game, but the narrative in on itself and the combat is really responsive. Surprisingly, despite the graphics, you're just sitting there going, "No, this is actually some decent cover mechanic based shooting. This is actually something that I can play and deal with. I just have to deal with poor graphics." If I were to weigh in, there's always going to be
the voice actor for Nathan Drake is the main character, by the way.
Nolan North.
Yeah.
If I were to go back and replay a game, there's a bunch of games that are on my list. But like probably Ace Combat 5, The Unsung War, which I cry like a baby every single time. There's not a playthrough where I don't cry in that game. There is Hi-Fi Rush, which once again is a fantastic music combat experience. Like that is a great game to go through. Maybe SSX 3 for the PlayStation 2. Yeah. That's my shit. Also, hi, Rickety Railway. Nothing major or new coming out. Like I can deal with not playing Resident Evil 4 again from the ground up because that was a fun kind of thing. Thank you so much for the follow, by the way. But outside of that, yeah, I'm pretty simplified. SSX 3, and some of those games that I mentioned earlier, Ace Combat 5, Hi-Fi Rush. I was thinking, like, for a second, I'm like, I don't know, would I throw in a visual novel or a dating sim somewhere in there? Probably not. Yeah, I think those are the three if I were to go back and play it. I
got a good.
Those were good choices.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I got a good twist for that question. Instead of video game, what anime would you want to re-experience for the first time?
What's the fucking one about the fucking dead kids and the fucking combat angel and they like
Dead Children, Combat Angel, Neon
Do you have
Genesis.
any idea how little that narrows it down?
Neon Genesis.
No, the
Evangelion?
people that
No.
the people that know it, they will know what I'm talking about. The fucking all the kids are dead and they're like in like some sort of fucked up purgatory that's a school, and there's like this one character, her name is Tenchi, and she's like a combat angel. Fuck, what fucking anime is this? Shit. Fuck.
Give me a second. Kids are
like-
dead.
It's like one of the animes of all time. It's no, no, it's not Dead Man Wonderland. Oh wait, Neverland. Angel Beats. Thank you, Brian.
Angel Beats.
Angel Beats. If I could go back and experience that again, I would. I was convinced there was going to be a season 2, and I'm still to this day. I'm waiting for it.
What about
For me,
Yeah.
for me, they're there's like quite a few. Most of them are action based. Believe it or
Okay.
not. Yeah, I'm not a freaking goon as much as everybody thinks I am.
It is currently.
If it's Boku no
Yeah.
Pico, I'm kicking you out of the live stream.
No, it would be Goblin Slayer.
Okay.
Oh
I dig
no.
I mean,
Especially
I
that
haven't
first
seen
episode.
Goblin Slayer, but I've
really
heard
the
good
first
tales.
episode?
Especially that first episode, man.
for
That really
fuck's
set the
sakes.
tone.
I got nothing to say. Wrath is wrath, ladies and gentlemen. If I were to go back and watch an anime, oh my god, I've got so many good ones that I have to choose. Okay, music wise, I probably wouldn't recommend Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Like, because even though that was the anime that influenced me, the animation quality is really janky. So if I were to watch it now, I'd be like, what the fuck am I watching? Is this Squiggle Vision? So that probably wouldn't be on the list. Maybe Eureka 7 Psalm of Planets, because that's a really solid 50 episode anime, although it does have like a brief section in like right before the middle, because it's a coming of age story where Renton is showing as a child into eventually a man. So like there are parts where it's like, oh, this is really, really bleak, and this is like characters acting stupid. Yeah, because this is the adolescent phase. There's a Black Lagoon, which is an amazing anime by Jenny On. I love it. Oh my god, there's so many different animes that I would want to watch. I'm just going to
Outlaw
say,
Star.
huh?
Outlaw Star.
I haven't seen Outlaw Star.
Go watch it.
I should go watch it. It's an action anime, despite how much of a gooner y'all think I am. Then names the anime with that scene in it. Yeah. I mean,
Listen, many an anime have that scene.
Have a scene.
There's you wouldn't like. I don't listen. I thought Made in Abyss was gonna be adorable. I love the art style.
God, that I can't watch
do
that.
not love Made in Abyss. I hate it personally. It makes me want to skin myself.
Depression.
and there are also like animes that I've enjoyed, but like aren't masterpieces, but they're like a deep fried Twinkie kind of anime. Have you ever watched Skate the Infinity?
No.
No.
Okay.
Yes, I started watching Skate the Infinity. I never finished it because it was too close to a manga I read in my childhood about inline skating.
So I'll very briefly summarize what Skate the Infinity is to those who don't know. It is Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Beat for beat, set pieces, all of that, except on skateboards and very, very gay. Incredibly gay. Like, you're just sitting there going, wait, is everybody just boning each other? Because you have the two main characters who are Reki and Longa, and you're sitting there going like, okay, they're boyfriends. And then you have Cherry and Joe, who are like, they might not be fucking on camera, but everybody ships them so fucking hard. And then there is the main bad guy whose name really escapes me, but the entire time I'm like, dude just needs to get laid. And secretly his butler is really into him as well, and it's like, I need to defeat you because I love you type of situation. And I'm like, man, just fuck already. just do the basics of that. So if you like deep fried Twinkies or deep fried Twinks, then yeah, I would strongly recommend that. Give me a second. Shimonetta is fantastic, by the way. A boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist. That is great. Have you ever heard of Shimonetta?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Never.
So Shimonetta takes place in a alternate version of Japan where everyone has these collars around their neck, which takes it notifies if you are saying inappropriate curse words or anything that's lewd or something like that, and you either get fined or taken away. All sense of pornography is destroyed, and to the point where people have to basically like smuggle books, and if you get caught, they'll send in like a strike team to burn down dojins and all this other stuff. And so the main character is like this girl who's secretly the school chairman of the committee or whatever. Or, sorry, she's like the student president, and her decision is, I want to be a erotic terrorist and overthrow the government so that way people can like bring pornography back into the world. I want to make the entire world lewd as possibly can be. And so once again, it's called like a world in which the concepts of dirty jokes doesn't exist because an entire generation of kids don't know how sexual health is. Like, they don't know how do you make a baby. They don't know any of that. So it's this wonderful comedy anime. It's only a season long, but I cannot recommend it enough. Watch that series.
I got a few episodes in, and then I kind of got distracted by other things.
But
And
yeah,
like people always like on Twitter, people will always like post memes about it when like say Britain is blocking porn and all that. So it's like, there we go. We have to be like that now in Britain.
but anyway, I am out of questions. Wrath,
Yep, I'm out.
you're out of questions. Oh wait, what is this? Give me a second. There is an anime that I want to experience for the first time, but as an adult, where I recognize all the red flags and decide to stop it after the first episode instead of watching the whole thing. Won't name it, but some stuff was too accessible to someone fresh out of middle school. Okay, we'll leave it as that then. Burrito, here's a question: where can people find you on the internet? Where can we find your stuff?
Finally, a good question. No, I'm just kidding.
Get out. Get the fuck out of my office.
I am PurritoVT everywhere. So you can find me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, all of those fun things. All of those are linked in the link tree in my everywhere, at PurritoVT, PurritoVT. Easy peasy.
And I'm, just for the sake of it, putting up Burrito's Twitch channel right here. Once again, PurritoVT. And hopefully we can get some more traction towards you. Either way, Burrito, thank you so much for joining me on today's live stream.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun. It was like way less scary than I thought it was going to be.
You were
See,
worried.
I told you.
Like, at the end of the day, this isn't a job interview. This is just pretty much like, I am someone who loves talking with people, and I don't get to talk to a lot of people. Hey, I would really like to get to know you type of situation. Once again, thank you so much for being on today's live stream. And on behalf of me, Wrath, and PurritoVT, have yourself a wonderful day, everybody, and take care. This video was proudly supported by Unsung Heroes of Patreon.